2015, record producer Bob Johnson passed away at the age of 83. He produced a string of very influential albums, including Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited, Blonde on Blonde, John Wesley Harding, Nashville Skyline, Salt Portrait, New Morning, Simon and Garfunkel, Sounds of Silence, so forth. Anyway, this is a little Bob Dylan. I've never heard this song, I don't think.
You've never heard Highway 61 Revisited?
I do not. I know of it, but I don't believe I've actually heard this song.
Where is Highway 61?
It is in St. Louis, Missouri.
It runs right through Clarksdale, the Mississippi Delta.
Well, there you are. I see. Again, I'll admit to you, I was a fan of. Well, okay. As a baby boomer, Bob Dylan also came along with the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Dave Clark Five, Rolling Stones. So Dylan was he was a little before that, but he was a major thing. But he was a kind of a side thing of the folk and country, the folk music stuff.
Right.
So he almost got kind of put by the wayside until people, I think probably your generation, 10 years later,
No. He
appreciated what he meant to music. We never did.
When he picked up the electric guitar and pissed off all the folk people, he became more of a rocker at that point. And it changed.
Yeah, well, I'm just on everything, it was like a 10-year difference, and all of a sudden people realized, oh my God, that was Dylan.
I just have to call out that you actually put the Dave Clark Five in amongst that list that you just...
They were there.
They were there for 15 minutes.
Well, but they were, oh my God, Martha and the Vandellas, all the Detroit sound, all that stuff.
But you talked about Dylan and the Beach Boys and the Beatles, and then you throw the Dave Clark Five in there.
They were huge in the mid-'60s.
That's another Glenn Campbell moment there.
Oh my God, they were enormous.
Flower, did you know Glenn Campbell once played for the Beach?
Yeah, so did I. According to my resume at Georgia Tech that day. How funny was that? I told him I played bass guitar one summer for the Beach Boys on tour. It's actually written down on my resume.
There's a big stink right now. Mike Love has Mike Love's Beach Boys out.
That's right.
And they're mad because there's no Wilson brothers.
Well, you can't do that. Come on. Does he need the money?
Yes.
He does?
Probably.
Jeez. I thought I was in bad
New
shape.
livers cost a lot.
Idiot. I suppose. Anyway, how's it going? 306. It's Kemmer, Pete, and Flounder. And I probably got a million things. I didn't even start the right way. I always give a birthday and historical note, so let me do that. And then we'll have, the Yankees are in town. We'll do a little sports thing. We've got some Flounder's funnies. We've got, oh my God, we've got Mike walking around in a red suit trying to, have you seen this?
He looks like he's on a Soviet chain gang.
It's a, what do you call it? It's not a bodysuit. It's a
jumpsuit.
It's a jumpsuit, like an aviator jumpsuit, but it's a bright flaming red.
Yeah, it is.
And he's got red, white, and blue a Star Spangled Banner knee socks on, and some kind of whatever. And so, in fact, I asked him about it. I'll tell you here in a second. First of all, our birthdays include the delicious Mila Kunis.
Yes.
Now 40 years old.
You know where she's from?
Mrs. Ashton Kutcher.
You know where she's from?
I do not.
Ukraine.
I do. I remember that now because she did a thing back when it first started. She was very popular. What do we got? What's this? I play this. I like
Dave Clark Five.
Dave Clark Five. See, there you are. This was a great song.
No, it wasn't.
This was. Oh my God! This was a dancing song. If you could get a girl in your arms dancing to this on the dance floor, you could take her back in the hallway in the spring prom and kiss her right on the mouth.
Where's that magic
marker? And once in a while, she'd let you move a little, a little touch of Rudy of the old Bongaboonie. It's Dave Clark 5.
We're only 5 minutes in. I'm already sniffing the markers.
They were huge. Oh my God! They
weren't huge. They had a few hits, but
there
two
you
or
are.
three.
That's all
two
I
or
said.
three, but they weren't huge.
Okay, but I'm saying if you add that sound, that kind of that group.
You came here for an argument.
Oh my God! No, I did not. Where I met my Mila Kunis, is what I say, 40, I forgot.
She ain't 40.
And remember that, she is 40 years old, Mrs. Ashton Kutcher. Mm-hmm. And remember the girl who played Cindy on the Brady Bunch? Susan Olsen's her actress. She's 62.
Wasn't she the middle one?
I think she was. Yeah. She was the cute little blondie, I think.
Is that Marsha?
Marsha.
She said Marsha. She was the middle one.
Yeah. Cindy. Yeah. Anyway, and let me get rid of that. Over a historical note. Oh, this is kind of amusing. In 1756, Daniel Boone married Rebecca Bryan. Their marriage lasted 56 years. They had 10 children, including one girl they named Jemima. Daniel Boone's bride, Rebecca, was 16. And he called his gun Betsy, or was that Davy Crockett? I can't remember. Anyway, what a man! I'll tell you. If you ever read the story of when Kelsey Grammer used to do the American Patriots and stuff. By the way, we got all kinds of newsy stuff on Biden and Trump.
Big stuff coming.
Trump released stuff, big stuff. If you ever have a chance to see, once in a while they repeat it on, I think it's on Fox TV, Kelsey Grammer's American Patriots or Founders or something like that. And the story of Daniel Boone, this guy, talk about a man, holy crap. He outran a tribe of Indians for something like 150 miles barefoot through the woods to Fort Freedom that they made because of Fort Daniel Boone, I think they call it. Anyway, chased by like 50 Indians for 150 miles barefoot. Oh, man.
Daniel Boone was the first, when I was in, third or fourth grade, where you remember how you had to memorize a story and go up and tell?
Yeah.
Daniel Boone was the first one I did, and I had to do it for 3 minutes, and I ended up doing it for 5.
Really? See,
let's hear some.
I
don't remember.
Yeah, there you go. What a story. What an American.
Hell of a man.
Oh, my God. Okay, we got a billion stories there. You're going to hear from Tucker Carlson talking about the mostly peaceful January 6th Ashley Babbitt Day protest, where the only person who died on January 6th because of it was an innocent, unarmed woman. Also, the Donald Trump case in Georgia. It figures Georgia screwed this up. Somebody either did it on purpose or maybe this is a conspiracy. Maybe this is somebody did it to say, okay, guess what? Get ready for this. Whether Donald Trump is now going to be charged with racketeering, a RICO charge, according to a release by the Fulton County court system, which may not be real at all. It's definitely premature. It may be fake. Now, whether it's fake because it's just premature or whether somebody faked it to get people talking about it, I don't know. It's just happening in the last 15
Maybe
minutes.
there's someone who actually likes Trump and leaked it.
My assumption was somebody who is on Donald Trump's side is getting people ready to say, oh, my God, they're going to get him for a RICO charge? That means they want to take his airplane. We mentioned this. The Democrats would love nothing more than two things. One, for Donald Trump to have to take a mugshot. And by the way, shame on the Fulton County Sheriff if he does it. I mean, that's disgraceful. And the second thing is they want his plane. Can you imagine if the Democrats use the Trump plane and they're, somehow confiscate it? Anyway, we'll get to that story.
It's all to control who we vote for.
Well, it's interfering with it. It's the election interference. It's the last 5 years, 6 years has been the greatest election interference in the history of any country everywhere, except maybe the banana republics.
Any other country in the world that would have their power structure arrest their leading opponent, the State Department would be issuing statements.
4 indictments against him
in different parts.
I mean, come on, just think about that. 4 charges.
Corrupt.
And 2 impeachments.
Can we just have our 2 countries now? Go ahead. Let's just split.
I mean, they're asking for there's going to be a revolution. We're not going to take this. And in fact, I was telling Pete a minute ago, and again, we got the Tucker stuff. We'll talk Biden on the. His comment when they said, "Gee, Mr. President, President Pants on fire. How do you feel about Hawaii burning up and all the people dying and stuff?" And guess what he said? If you didn't hear it, you won't believe it. Also coming up, the Babylon Bee's got a great take on this. You'll hear from the crazy lady on the plane.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, one thing before we take a quick break here, and those are kind of teases. We'll get to all that stuff, plus Flounders, Follies, and everything else. I was mentioning to Pete that here's the problem with what's been going on for the last 6 years. I am at the stage now where I will kill for my daughters. I will die for my daughters. I will kill for my daughters. But I despise everything they stand for politically. How can you operate that way? How can you think about that.
I know.
Family, it is so bad. That I forgive them because they don't know it. They know not what they think. And it's because of the media and the Department of Justice and the whole system's against guys like us. And they believe what they believe because they really think they're the sweetest people on the world. They give you a free. If you need a home place to stay, they'll let you stay. You need to borrow a car, sure, take it. Hope you bring it back. It's not, love lives here, rainbows live here, all that kind of stuff. And yet I despise everything they stand for.
And they're the ones that are going to have to live in the country that they're creating.
That's right. And they don't see it. They don't get it because they don't know any better. I want to grab it out of their throat.
Wake up.
I want to say stop. I don't know what to do.
You've done all you can.
Dave Clark, fine. Quick, finder. Over and over and over again. That's gonna be my friend. Yeah, baby. 314. Jimmer, Pete, and Flounder in the Dave Clark 5, baby.
Shoot me.
Look out.
I said over and over and over again. This dance is gonna be a drag.
By the way, Pete was just telling me he got a great deal on gasoline. He only paid $4.01. I paid $5, and I put it on Rumble and Facebook over the weekend. $5 a gallon at Shell. $5 a gallon. Crowd's going nuts. The world's going nuts. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer 315. I had so much fun just recently. The singer was later released without charge. Well, he's George Michael. Anyway, I'm thinking about a thing there. We got that over there. Now, a quick birthday or two. The luscious Halle Berry, 57 years old.
Wow.
And still posting pictures.
Good-looking woman.
Wasn't she just on a balcony doing a little bikini thing or robe or something, I think, just the
Yeah,
other day?
that was a few years ago, but
Yeah, and Halle Berry is and she married David Justice.
Yeah.
And she said that she had no idea he was a famous baseball player.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Anyway, how could I? Well,
He's a good-looking man, though. So
he was good looking. Was he a green-eyed star? Almost all the remember who Major Jackson?
Where are you going with this? Please, where are you going with this? He's a green-eyed, jealous man. Please.
Yeah. I can never really trust.
Let's move on.
Bill Campbell was the one who tried to
keep
snark my final
Let's
wife,
keep
green-eyed
moving.
bastard. Anyway, that's all I'm saying.
He was an a-hole.
He was an a-hole. I'm sorry.
Bill Campbell, even when he was a city councilman, he was a jerk.
Total jerk. And a liar and a crook.
Yep.
Yep. And Marcia Gay Harden, the actress, former Oscar winner.
Also a good-looking woman.
64, handsome woman, I would call her.
That movie that everyone makes fun of, but I like Gene Hackman and what's his face, the Ray Romano. It's called Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, the mayors once again, mayor fighting each other or
He was
something?
a former president, and he's running
that's what
for
it was.
mayor of Mooseport.
Yeah.
I thought it was a funny movie.
Yeah. I never saw it. I know of it. I never saw it.
You would like it.
I think I would like it.
Gene Hackman is hysterical in it.
Gene Hackman's a great actor. I can't think of a bad movie he's done.
I'm trying to think. Bad movie Gene Hackman's been in.
On this day in history, this is kind of bizarre. 1901, Nurse Clara Maas, 1901, was so determined to prove that yellow fever was spread by mosquitoes that she allowed herself to be bitten by one to prove it. Sure enough, she was right. And she died 12 days later.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, that's a little cold.
Too soon. Too soon? Is that too soon?
1901, you got to go like 1890. You got to go 1800s. Really.
Yeah, Spanish-American War you can make fun of.
You
but
could have a grandchild in the air. I mean, who really?
what gets me is not every mosquito is carrying it.
No, but what are the chances back in 1901? Yellow fever.
But now you have Bill Gates releasing genetically modified mosquitoes into the wild again.
And they want us to eat bugs, too, at the same time.
You want to hear about what NPR's been doing with the bugs?
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
We'll do it right now.
We got Pete's
We'll do it live.
Pete's bugs.
All right, NPR for the last 10 years has been using your tax dollars in a 10-year campaign to get you to eat bugs.
Yeah.
May of 2013, the NPR headline, maybe it's time to swap burgers for bugs, say UN. September 2017, a bug-eating festival. Kids crunch down on the food of the future.
God.
July 2018, your ancestors probably ate insects, so what's bugging you?
Is all NPR's?
All NPR. And finally, after none of that worked, they had to do what's the one thing that always works from the left to get you to try and do something? They call you a name.
Yeah, I'm a racist.
Racist. July 2023, last month. This right-wing conspiracy theory about eating bugs is about as racist as you think.
Because they only eat bugs in Africa?
I will give $10
what is a possible
to
link?
anybody who can give me a real link
for bugs. All right, let's think. Bugs come out of the ground. The ground is dark. Therefore, only dark things produce crunchy, buggy. Don't
mention the green-eyed
darkies. I don't.
Okay, the only people I've ever seen eat bugs in my life, including the chocolate-covered stuff, is dumbass white people.
Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen a black person eat a bug or even want to eat a bug.
No, they're much.
So how is it racist? I mean,
everything's racist.
Everything's all they got to do in the Atlantic, NPR, or whatever is basically add the word racist to it, and they got instant story.
I know, there you are. It's hard to believe, but again, this is our country. I mean, and people are taking this seriously. I mean, this is a whole system. Well, where did that come from?
System.
Oh God! All right, 324.
Do something important. Joe Biden.
Should we do Biden? Let's do. All right. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's do that. Let's do that. because we got the whole Donald Trump thing, and this is going to get worse and worse. But first, whoops, I got to put that over here with the Trump thing. There we are, and you're going to hear the crazy plane lady here in a second too. She's come out in public to talk about
sexy crazy plane lady.
She's. I tell you, believe me, I would definitely say, ma'am, let me see if I can help you with your little trip down the Kimmer Lane of Love.
And the crazier she got, the more attractive she got.
I had to be with her. I wanted to kiss her on the mouth. I'm sorry. It's just a thing there. Okay, a couple things. Oh, wait a second. Where's the...
Oh, my God.
No, here it is. Where did he say...
For 3 hours, we got ready to do this show.
No.
And then we get in here.
Here it is.
Like you just
I
showed
put it
up.
under my tucker. I got too much. I got it all over here. By the way, thank your lucky stars. You aren't the one who had to get it all handed to me when I walked in. Here's a top story.
Today's top story.
For those hard of hearing, President Pants on Fire over the weekend was on taking another vacation, another beach getaway. Well, I think it's day number 370 now or something like that for his vacation days since he became president. And reporters, after a couple hours on the Rehoboth, Delaware beach, President Crime Family was asked about the rising death toll in Hawaii. He said, the reporter for Bloomberg said that the president responded with, quote, no comment, and went home. Video confirmed that exact account.
With him smiling.
President showers with daughter, smile on his face, briefly paused before responding and getting into his transportation to take off. Critics say, my God, this is so much more than embarrassing. Even an MSNBC host said that response is going to hurt him, an unforced error. More journalists, the response, absolutely terrible. Another, it seems the president should have something to say about that. Even the Washington Examiner, Byron York, looks like my grandmother. Anyway, it's good to be a Democrat, say more. In other words, the famous Biden empathy. Even the CNN political commentator Scott Jennings said in response to the famous Biden empathy. A Maui resident said, oh, my God, we're not getting what we need from the government. We need support on the federal level. We should have the Navy here. We should have the Coast Guard here. We have helicopters here. It shouldn't be me and my friends in our 20 and 30-year-old trucks grabbing supplies and driving them through a burning town to get there.
Why not? You have to help yourself. The government isn't going to be there.
Well, I mean, they're doing it. They are helping themselves. They're just saying it's too bad that we're the only ones who are. I mean, they did the right thing. They helped their neighbors. They were good Americans. They helped their neighbors. But they're wondering, where the hell is the federal government? And now, by the way, there's a class action lawsuit being filed to complain about the power company. Should have known better than to have the power and have wind warnings, stuff like that. But again, he just turned his back on and said, no comment.
As opposed to what they did to Trump.
Yeah.
Fox put this together earlier today. The headlines, Washington Post, lost weekend, how Trump's time at his golf club hurt the response to Hurricane Maria. The Daily News, Trump once again spends the day at the Virginia golf course as Florida braces for catastrophic hurricane. Mm-hmm. You got Business Insider. Trump said he skipped a diplomatic trip to monitor the hurricane. Then he spent the weekend golfing. CNN, why Donald Trump golfing during Hurricane Dorian is a problem. That's what they did for him. What did they do for Biden?
Yeah.
Here's the same thing. Basically, they were talking about Biden. I got this stupid thing.
That's all right. We're good. Everything's fine.
Actually, I'm just going to kill the phone right here. I'm going to kill the phone right here.
No.
Live.
It's going to be working.
I've done it before. I know you have. I've killed this phone
many times. But
all right. Here's Time Magazine. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, importance of empathy. What America needs it most. The Atlantic, Biden's empathy is what makes him the man for this moment. CNN, empathy matters. Forbes, how empathy defines Joe Biden. Don't think they talk to each other when they do this stuff. And the only one who didn't use the word empathy, the New York Times, Joe Biden and the decency agenda.
Decency. And remember, it's all about a father's love.
But why would you use a word like empathy all over this?
Yeah, well, it's because they're in on it together. It's like when they did gravitas. Remember when they pick a key word and all the Democrats get all the the marching orders. All right, 3:29. We got so much more. Tucker coming up, and it's Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. It's Monday. I can't believe it. All right, here we go. Oops. Are we? Oh my God!
What? Why?
Handshaking.
I fired the wrong one.
It's all right. We'll be back.
This is never wrong.
Are we supposed to break here?
That was a nut clutch.
Fighters, baby. This is a call. That's the title of it. 1995, Foo Fighters make their network television debut on The Late Show with David Letterman. Performing the new single in 95, This Is a Call. Foo Fighters. Okay. All right.
Saw them at the old Turner Field there with Wayne, no offense, and Nathan. Nathan
the cop. No, he went back to the Fuzz. That's right.
And great concert too.
You know, I wouldn't be able to name one of their songs.
It's a weird setup there. Like, since they've done the modification, it was kind of weird looking.
Where?
It worked at Turner Field.
Oh,
the old Turner Field. It's Georgia State Stadium now. Yeah.
But still, everyone calls it Turner Field.
30 years.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see.
They asked you not to come back.
Well, they told you it's a court thing. It's a court thing. Well, by mutual, you know. It's
I like how you couch that in good terms. Hey, I haven't been back in 30 years. Well, they asked you not.
You know, for another 7. So that's kind of a... 2030, I could go back to Fulton County Stadium.
Well, that's been torn down.
Field, I mean, same thing. I have that one too. I had a stadium issue back when I was a younger man. You know. Quick birthday of note: Danielle Steele, the chick book author, 76. years old today. In fact, every time the Sunday paper comes out, such as it is, and I always look to see what the new books are, especially the paper. I used to love to go into the drugstore or any grocery store, and there's a rack there of the top 10 or top 20 paperback
There still
bestsellers.
is.
No, there isn't.
Kroger has them.
Well, they don't have many. Anyway, whatever. But these days, for the last several years, it's all chicks.
Yeah, it is.
It's all female authors.
Yep.
What the hell? I mean, is that a
Robert Ludlum died. Clive Cussler.
Lee
died.
Child once every year. Lee Child has one, or Michael Connolly, or some, a couple of guys. But that's it. And Stuart Woods is dead, and he was one of my favorite of all time.
Michael
Easy
Crichton's
read.
been dead a long
Right.
time.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Speaking of writing, this is fairly interesting. Our correspondent at the Babylon Bee concerning the Hawaiian fires, and we're going to talk about the Trump case here. And you're going to hear the crazy lady here in a minute too. Representatives for the Hawaiian Department of Land and Natural Resources reached out to the public today, imploring whoever stole the ancient tiki statue depicting Pele, goddess of fire, to please return it as soon as you can. Mainland officials first assumed the Hawaiian wildfire was a result of man-made climate change. They were eventually informed by the Hawaiian government. The goddess Pele has cursed the island of Maui because some idiot stole her tiki statue. I can't explain it. One day everything's fine, now everything's on fire. Please, whoever you are, return it immediately. On the mainland, they were skeptical the wildfire could have been a supernatural origin until they watched Disney's Moana. We must restore the heart of the Te Fiti, according to President Pants on Fire, told the Joint Chiefs of Staff. As Admiral corrected him, saying, sir, that's a different kind of God. Skeptics pushed back on the superstitious origin for the wildfire, proposing that maybe the fire was caused by those fire dancers that are always spinning torches around for tourists on vacation wearing those highly combustible grass skirts.
Luau.
By the way, according to sources, a plane carrying emergency supplies and $10 billion in disaster relief flew right over the Hawaiian island of Maui on its way to Ukraine. Yes. Oh, well, Ukraine, here we come, according to the pilot. They looked down and took a lot of photos of the Hawaiian destruction, which they agree will make for a great addition to their disaster scrapbook. Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay. Flounder just made fun of that poor nurse that died recently, and now you've just mocked the poor Hawaiians.
Well,
who do I get to jump on?
That was the Babylon Bee.
2.5 hours. I'm sure you'll find someone.
I definitely guarantee you we will find someone else. Look, you want to do the crazy lady? I mean, we talked about this on Friday in our last show.
Oh, we got a telephone call.
Oh, we do?
Swatoon wants to talk to you.
Well, let's get the phone. Again, our phone number is 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We love phone calls. I know you don't, but we love to have you call in. And anything that's on your mind, it's always letter rip, open lines, anything you want to do. Swatoon's on the radio. How's it going, man? What's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, I can hear you great. What's happening?
Oh, okay. Three things.
Yeah.
First of all, about white supremacy and racism.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, they're calling everybody pretty much blackface or white supremacy, whatever. If any minority say anything against Biden, it's white supremacists.
Yeah.
It looks to me that white supremacy is most diverse group out there.
The white supremacists are the most diverse group. That kind of makes sense.
The second thing about bugs, I only eat food that I can go kill with a gun, pretty much. I don't like fish anyway, but So I would, if you want to choose the food, just try to choose food you can hunt for.
There you go.
And the third, about the lizard lady, why don't you just contact her via Twitter and tell her you can show her your lizard tongue or something.
Contact who? I missed part of
The
that.
crazy lady.
Oh, the crazy lady. Yeah, I mean, believe me, I'd take a shot at. I mean, I'm way out of her, ballpark. But if I were, an actual working single man and stuff with a decent age on me, I definitely would. I would reach out to her.
Hey, just tell her you're a lizard man.
A lizard man. Yeah, I'm the guy in the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
A lizard man.
You're thousands of years old. This is just a suit. You're going to change soon anyway.
Yeah, I'll be flickering your way tonight.
Forked tongue.
I love it. Try to have a good one, my friend. 3:39. And speaking of the crazy lady, God bless her. She came out in public. Her name is Tiffany Gomez. She's a marketing executive in Texas, 38 years old. And do we have the first sound of her on the plane, Flounder? Let's play. Here's what she was famous for on a flight from Dallas to Orlando on the plane.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot this. I don't give two
Nope.
but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
No.
And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
She was allowed to leave the plane.
Bye.
Bye.
She was allowed. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. And they let her off the plane. And by the way, the more I saw this, the hotter she got to me. I mean, she just was she's a dish. And
Sexy arms.
And half nuts is just, oh my God. It would be like, it's like a bucket list. I mean, it's like, giddy up cowboy and see what happens when you fall. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. It's like the guy, believe me, there's a lot of guys who are just like Pete and me and probably, no, not Flounder, because,
Well, the thing is I don't think she had a Twitter account or a lot of social media stuff before this.
No, but she does not.
That's what I'm saying. So she's trying to turn this into some fame.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't fired her.
Well, now, I don't know about her current job situation.
Yeah.
She's a marketing executive. I don't know what that means, and it doesn't give the name of the company, and at least in the stuff I have here. Now, I maybe in Texas, I'll know more about her, obviously, where she lives. But she's now posted a video to X, which is formerly Twitter, introducing herself and taking the responsibility.
Flounder. Way up.
I'm sorry, we got that second soundbite of her on Twitter?
Here we go.
Or X, I mean.
He was eating.
Well, he had something to do.
We're only 10 minutes into.
Oops, Daisy. That's Tucker.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Tiffany Gomez, probably better known as the Crazy Plane Lady, which is completely warranted. As you know, I have been unwilling to speak on the viral video, but I do finally feel that it's time. First and foremost, I want to take full accountability for my actions. They were completely unacceptable. Distressed or not, I should have been in control of my emotions, and that was not the case. My use of profanity was completely unnecessary, and I want to apologize to everyone on that plane, especially those that had children aboard. Can't imagine going through that and trying to explain to your kid what in the world just happened. We all have our bad moments, some far worse than others, and mine happened to be caught on camera for the whole world to see multiple times. Sorry, trying not to sound like Minnie Mouse.
She started weeping.
Well, it has been really comical for everyone, and I have highly enjoyed so many of the memes. On the flip side, it is very invasive and unkind, and I don't know what I would do without the love and support of my friends and family. They are loyal to a fault, and I don't know what I did to deserve them.
We know.
I hope that I can use this experience and do a little bit of good in the world, and that is what I intend to do. I hope that you guys can accept my apology, and I can begin to move on with my life.
I'm here for you. Call me baby.
Tim wants to talk about this.
Wait,
Tim, yeah.
First, I'm having a moment. Just give me 1 second.
I'm all goosely.
3:43.
But come on, tell us why you did it. Why did you do it? Were you on drugs? Were you drunk? What?
Yeah. In fact, she said, I take responsibility. I was distressed or not. So clearly she was distressed about something. We don't know what the bottom, I don't know whether obviously something happened that set her off. But now Tim is on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Tim, you're on the radio. Thanks for holding. Thanks for calling. And what's going on?
Thanks, Cameron. Hey, she may be crazy as a bed bug, but she had enough sense not to market Mulvaney for Bud Light.
Well,
true.
That's true. All right, Tim.
Okay,
thank you. 3:43. Oh, anyway. Well,
why won't she say there was something that she had just an episode or
you
something?
have to assume it was, a fight with a boyfriend or...
she bipolar?
Right. Well, the first... It seemed as though clearly she was out of control and believed that, which is the definition of someone who's bipolar. They're not faking or acting. They're going through a real thing.
I bet that's going to be the female Halloween costume of the year.
Well, with maybe like a...
You got to be hot to pull it off.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, anyway. So the Crazy Plane Lady, and she called herself that too, which I think is pretty sexy, I got to be honest with you.
She's got to make some money off this, but she has to come out and say why. Come on.
Well, it's got to be either she literally has a mental issue, because that wouldn't be a one-time thing. I mean,
Well,
all of a sudden she's now cured because she went on the plane and said that, and now she's done.
I think she's worried that she'll be put on the no-flight list. They'll never be able to fly again.
Well, I assume she has an attorney. I mean, I don't know. Again, we don't know anything more about this, and I'm kind of surprised that wherever she lives in Texas, I don't know where she lives, hasn't come out with a million of her friends saying, "Well, here's the story." I mean, how come that's not broken yet?
Maybe she's onto something, and they've scared her. Lizard men.
It's probably Hillary Rodham, P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, and the Biden crime family threatened to kill her if she talked about what she knows about the truth of the FBI being responsible for the murders and all the 50,000 people killed on January 6th. That's what I'd say. Blackbriar, Blackbriar. It's 3:45. Blackbriar. stuff.
He's a brilliant, funny man.
That was King Tut, the song.
King
remember? He will hold a munga.
Great banjo player, too.
What?
He can play the banjo.
He can play the banjo.
Hell of a
He's a
banjo
great
player.
banjo player. And I don't know, old timers may remember.
He just played with the Beach Boys.
Well, there he won that summer after I did. The guy who played Huggy Bear on Starsky and Hutch. And Doodlebug Simpkins on Cleopatra Jones, and Fly Guy and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Antonio Vargas. Fargas is 77 today also. So anyway. I think I might have an historical note here. Yeah, let's pick one out here. Here we go. 1896. The 96ers. Gold was discovered in the frozen Canadian territory known as the Yukon. And within 1 year, 30,000 miners showed up digging for the gold treasure.
Jack London being one of them.
That's right.
And he never got there. He gave up and came back.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine? And again, by the way, think of it saying, "Oh my God, let's go try." And of course, first of all, you had to get there. 1896.
They
you
had
were
to
going to
carry
take a car.
their stuff
Yeah.
miles up in the mountains.
Yeah. If you had a mule, you were lucky. But again, the thing, and then you get there, and everything's people everywhere. Or I mean, it must have been a nightmare.
Killing you for your stuff.
God,
and if you did find something, they could kill you for it before you got it anywhere.
Yeah, and by the way, you were either living on the ground or maybe a tent if you were lucky. Again, 1896, anyway. There were not a lot of condos, rental cars, And you could call the guy next to you and say, oh, we got another call. Here's Kay.
That's what that
Well, this
means.
is the international phone call sign. By the way, we appreciate people are watching us on YouTube and contacting us on YouTube as well. Here is this Kay. Kay's on the radio. Hi, Kay. You're on the air, and thank you. What's going on?
Hi, Kimmer. Y'all gave me some tickets to Greg Gutfield on June 17th.
Oh, I remember that.
And,
absolutely.
Yeah. And anyway, I was supposed to call and report back, but I never did. So I'm doing that now.
Baby, at least you came back to the camera. That's more than I can say for the last one. Never mind. Now tell us about the show. When you walked in, was it just him, or did he have a band, or what was the show like?
No, it was just him, and it was basically he was selling his book.
Really?
It was late night or whatever, but it was interesting. He was telling his story, so my friend and I said it was really enjoyable, but if we had paid for it, we would have been pissed.
Really? Was he?
But he had. Go ahead.
No, was he not funny or not good stories?
He was. It was just like I wasn't going for a book tour.
Yeah.
But anyway, his life was pretty interesting. He used to be the editor for Men's Health and Maxim.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he had one of his guys, Tom Shalhoub, who warmed up the crowd, and he was pretty funny. He was talking about commercials they can't make anymore, and how they canceled Pepe Le Pew because he was in love with the cat, and he said, well, that should work right in to progressive.
Yeah, he's on Fox all the time. He's so funny. He's on a lot of their shows and stuff. Well, anyway, but I hope you did, and so at least you had a good time, and you didn't have to pay for it, so that's good.
We met the other people that won some tickets, and I told you it was my 30th anniversary, and it was. But there's no way my husband would have gone with me. So as soon as I got off the phone, I texted my best friend from 4th grade, cancel any plans you have for Saturday night.
Well, good for you. And I hope you gave your husband a bunch of crap when you got home for not going with you on your anniversary.
Also, that was my 1-year sobriety date.
Oh, well, that's even more important. Well done. Okay, outstanding.
I know. Donna said, didn't you tell him that?
Oh, well, yeah, that's even better. Well, bless you, sweet girl, and I'm glad you had an experience that you remembered and sharing it with us, and we're better for it.
Yes, I love listening to y'all.
Thank you.
So, think about the commercial for Armour hot dogs when I get off the air, and they joked about that, and dissect it.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Kay.
Fat kids, skinny kids who climb on rocks.
Armour hot dogs.
Even kids with chicken pox love hot dogs. Armour hot dogs.
Oh, mercy. Well, that reminded me, speaking of that, we were supposed to talk about Donald Trump, and he's not been indicted, and it may all be fake, and maybe, we don't know. There's an early release of saying he's going to be charged with RICO, federal racketeering crimes here in Atlanta. But I mentioned earlier, we saw one of our buddies, Mike, I'm not sure exactly. Is he the promotions
Yes,
director?
he is.
Okay. In fact, he just walked by right
The
just now.
guru.
He's wearing he's wearing a red jumpsuit, bright fire engine red jumpsuit with red, white, and blue American Star Spangled Banner socks. And so on the hallway, I said, Mike, I'm sorry, I got to ask what the hell's going on with this. I mean, you got, and you know what he's doing? He apparently is auditioning for a part in Pirates of Penzance.
Gilbert and Sullivan?
Gilbert and Sullivan, Pirates of Penzance. And it reminded me, there was an episode of West Wing when they talked about the show tunes and so forth. And one of the Pirates of Penzance, I believe, is the one where the one of the songs goes, I am the very model of a modern major general. I've let's see, I've got information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. And it goes on and on and on like that. Gilbert O'Sullivan. And then the other one I remember was...
Yeah. Gilbert O'Sullivan was a bad 70s singer.
Right, sorry, Gilbert and Sullivan.
Gilbert O'Sullivan.
And then the ones, it was for HMS Pinafore, was it, I am an Englishman. I had no idea Mike was into show tunes and Broadway acting stuff. But anyway,
that even goes before Broadway.
We'll keep you posted. Yeah,
Gilbert O'Sullivan did a song called Alone Again Naturally.
Oh, my God. I'm having flashbacks as it is. Anyway, now, just for the record, how long's the Tucker Carlson cut? I'm sorry, Flounder, I should have asked you this beforehand.
About a minute 6.
Okay, so we got plenty of time because we got a minute and 40. Donald Trump's case, the Fulton County, Georgia courthouse website posted a document saying Donald Trump's going to be arrested and charged with felonies, including RICO acts. Which include racketeering, influencing corrupt organization, which is RICO, solicitation of violations of public officers. I mean, on and on and on. At 2 pages in length. RICO violations, soliciting forgery. I mean, they're trying to kill him. They're trying to take everything a man's possibly got. And by the way, Tucker Carlson's latest X, Tucker on Twitter, the X thing, is talking to a former police chief at the Capitol about the fact that the FBI lied about how many undercover agents they had at the scene of the protest here.
We're only 10 minutes into this, and you've told me 2 things. One, the other federal agencies withheld critical information from you in charge of security at the Capitol before January 6th. And once it started and things got out of control, for 71 minutes, Pelosi refused to allow you to bring in the National Guard. So those are 2 of the biggest questions from January 6th. And my question is, why don't we have answers to why that happened?
It doesn't seem like people really want to get to the bottom of it. It really doesn't. And it just gets worse. It gets worse from there.
I'm sorry to step on your story. It's shocking.
It is. It is shocking to think that we should be a coordinated security apparatus. There's regulations. There's procedures for defense support for civil authorities. I've taught it for the military. They don't realize they brought me in to ask me to teach us for foreign governments coming to visit. There's a process for when law enforcement needs help and we dial 911. It's through the military. And that failed. That failed miserably because of the law Congress passed.
That's a former Capitol Police chief, says military federal agents FBI agents were in the crowd. He was not told they were there. How many were there? He was kept in the dark. And this intelligence officers in power were aware of the attack in advance and covered it up. It's 4 o'clock. We'll be back. Losing You as a follow-up to Roxanne, which, when released the following year, peaked at number 2 in Britain, written by singer and bassist Sting as a song about suicide.
Gordon Sumner is his name.
I'm sorry? Gordon Sumner, Sting? Is that Sting's name? I would not have known that. It's a song about suicide. The song gained minor controversy for its single cover art featuring Stuart Copeland hanging himself.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's not good, is it? Is that good?
Art.
Does that help bring maybe...
I bet the Dave Clark 5 would never do anything like that.
Sticks and stings, sing, bing, dang, da, ba, oh, sorry. Birthday list includes the formerly magnificent Susan St. James. Remember her?
I was never...
Macmillan and wife?
Yeah, I was never...
She was kind of a little too unfeminine for me. She was an attractive woman, but she was...
It was a
I
good
didn't
show.
have any
Rock
sex
Hudson
appeal.
and her. Yeah.
Macmillan and wife, yeah. And that was in the 70s, starring HIV-positive Rock Hudson. She later became Kate on Kate and Alley.
Yeah, never really did anything
Susan
for me.
No, not really. But she was, she's 77, still going strong.
Good.
And let's see, how about maybe a note of history here? Wait, here we go. 1945, President Truman announced it's official. Japan has agreed to the terms of the unconditional surrender after America dropped the second nuclear bomb, this one on Nagasaki, August 9th. The agreement was signed August 10th, but not made public until this date in 1945.
I read it's either one of the Army guys or Navy guys in Japan who convinced them not to give up after the first one because he says, I'm absolutely certain that the Americans only had one of those.
Yeah, there's and Hirohito said, but that's all you got? But you big tough guy, huh? Well, one lousy town. You think that's going to stop us? That's all you got? Okay.
Talk about a cold take. You only got one. I keep going. I don't think the hard stuff's going to come down for a while.
Yeah, what are you going to do now?
I keep playing.
Oh my God! By the way, and we got a whole bunch of newsy stuff. We're going to talk about more about President Pants on Fire and his perversion over the years. But first, tell the little people what we were just watching on the Fox video of another scandal which the left has ignored concerning concerning environmentalists and saving our planet.
Yeah.
And tell them what we just saw on the TV screen.
They've lost 2 more whales up there in the beaches of New Jersey and New York, and they lost a bunch of them lately. And they pretty much and the Navy and the governments have been saying, no, it's not us. They're driving these piles out there in the ocean to put these stupid windmills up. Okay? Well, the sound is driving the whales crazy, and they're beaching themselves.
Yeah.
So where are all the damn environmentalists and everything on this?
Yeah.
Because now you have Democratic legislators up there in New Jersey going, no, come on, Mr. President, who keeps pushing this BS.
Yeah.
Like, you got to quit killing the whales here.
Yeah.
And these things don't work. And when they get rid of them, they have to put them in landfills because they can't recycle them.
Yeah.
So they don't do anything when it comes to helping out with the energy thing. There's not enough wind to do it.
Well,
and they're killing the whales.
Well, it's because they have to be Democrats and they have to go for the
green
farthest
cult.
green side they can get. Yeah, that's right. Even if it doesn't work. How about the cilantro? I mean, one example. How about the electric bus company just went out of business?
Oh, yeah, 2 weeks ago.
My God.
Biden Solyndra. Yeah.
And incidentally, remember, I mentioned this last week, just for the record, if you haven't been aware of this, we mentioned to fill up a tractor-trailer truck gasoline, an 18-wheeler cab, it takes, they have like 200-gallon. It takes 15 minutes, and when you fill up a tractor-trailer tank of diesel fuel, which, by the way, is cleaner than gasoline. Diesel fuel, despite the black smoke, is cleaner than most fuels. When you fill it up, takes you 15 minutes, and you can go 1,200 miles. To fill up an electric 18-wheeler cab thing, to fill up one of electric would take up to 10 hours, and you get 250 miles.
You can be green, but be green who can do math. There are only 3 parts of this country where that wind and solar will ever work in the next, unless they come up with this breakthrough thing, and the semiconductor breakthrough from last week is old news from Korea, so don't even look at that. There's only 3 places, Denver, Phoenix, and Chicago, that could possibly work, because they have the open plains for the wind, they have the open plains for the solar panels, they have the sun that much time.
Yeah.
You can't use it in the Northeast ever. It's not going to really work down here much either.
No, unless you put it on you put it on Cape Cod and in Miami Beach, and it's
just
not going to happen.
The weather's not going to, especially the Northeast. It's never going to work up there. Either one.
Yeah.
There's not enough wind.
Yeah.
And there's not enough solar, ever.
Yeah.
So there's only 3 places that it can work right now, and probably for the next 20, 30 years. This is all a scam.
Yeah. Well, we finally get rid of all those whales.
Those whales have been blocking up the traffic lanes.
Yeah, but you can't boat in here anymore. The damn whales
beaching themselves wherever they want.
The bastards.
What do they think they are?
Get the hell out of my way,
Chris Christie.
I got crap to do here.
I'm surprised they didn't pull a bulldozer up to Chris Christie on the beach and try to push him.
It's a whale of a political candidate.
Hell of a
God. By the way, how was your week? We didn't even say hi. My Flounder, how was your weekend with Miss Veronica? Everything beaching or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had a good weekend. What did we do?
Did you go to the lake or too hot or?
Too hot. Yeah.
I have a question. Have you had your first argument?
I wouldn't necessarily say an argument.
Well, I mean, for the makeup sex. That's what he really wants to know. Is
I did not want to know
Yes, you
that.
did.
I did not.
No big argument yet.
Whose fault was it?
Probably mine.
Now you understand that
Smart man.
the correct answer is the correct answer is always right again, my darling.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, exactly.
My darling.
Boy, I didn't think of it that way, sweetheart.
Look at it from that
son
perspective.
Of a gun. Here, why don't we go to the store and I'll get you something nice? Again, that's the third one. It's right again, my darling.
What'd you do on your weekend?
I wasted it and blew it, and I went to the barn. I went to the stable to take my videos of
that's
horses.
not wasting.
Well, no, I mean that's my life. I go to the store, I go to the stable Saturday morning, and then I go Saturday night. That's my date night with the horses.
It's pathetic, but it's not a waste.
Fairly pathetic. And then I go Sunday morning again to the stable. So I make my 3 trips out of the house. And of course, now yesterday I was going to actually do a couple of things, and then I realized, there was another concert. And so where I live, if I try to get out of my townhouse cul-de-sac. Anytime within like 2 hours before the concert, it would take me 50 minutes. And by the way, if I do something like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then want to come back anytime between like 5 and 7, it'll take me 50 minutes to go 200 yards to get to my entrance.
And you wonder why I moved out of the city.
It's unbelievable. Every entrance to our amphitheater, it comes right in front of my place, and the traffic backs up, and they don't care because they're going to get there eventually. And you can't. I mean, literally, I can't go 50 yards, 100 yards in almost an hour. So I stay in the house. I didn't leave.
You know, if they get those drones that can deliver the pizza to you, you'll have it made.
I know. Well, I didn't leave because I was afraid about coming back. I didn't want to sit in my car for 45 minutes with the engine running in the heat to go, 80 yards.
I don't worry about that anymore.
I know. You're a lucky man. Anyway, 411.
I had a good weekend, but that's okay. Let's keep moving.
Well, no, I was going to ask you, and by the way, I have a terrible thing, too. I'm heartbroken about something, too. But first of all, your weekend.
I rested up. I didn't do anything. You know why?
Why?
Because this weekend's the weekend.
What? Well, what's this weekend?
Because I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to take a little drive to a little town called Blue Ridge.
Yeah. Nice little town.
The yearly rodeo is in town for 2 days.
No kidding.
Are you getting yourself a B&B?
A real rodeo. I might. You never know. But it's a real rodeo.
You might what? B&B. What does that mean?
Airbnb. Stay there.
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
I would.
Well, how
it's
far
beautiful
from
up there.
Blue Ridge is for you're not that far.
I'm not going to tell anybody where I live.
Oh my God! Well, the mountains of Macon. We know general description area.
It's a long way from Macon.
So you would like spend the weekend? You mean?
I haven't been to a rodeo since about 10 years ago. I visited my cousin in Mississippi, and her kids all do the barrel racing and the calf roping and stuff, and that was fun. So I'm looking forward to this. It should be fun.
I've done that.
Yeah. When I was, Mississippi?
When I was down in Florida, when I retired down in Florida, and I had Jack the Good Boy. I had him for 13 years. But I also, when the girl who found Jack the Good Boy is where the stable where I had Jack, and a guy came in who was selling horses, and there was this beautiful solid black registered American paint horse, and I bought him. And because he was a rodeo horse, and in fact, I did barrel racing on him. I chased cows on him, steers they got away and stuff.
Are they less expensive to buy since they're already painted?
Yes, I can paint that horse for $39.99. Earl Shive, right? And so I called him Shooter. I named him Shooter. And
well, it's fun to watch people do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. I mean, and again, but again, I was going to rodeos every weekend with taking that horse with me. Jack was too big, and he's not a rodeo racehorse at all. So, but I got and then I kept when I came back to work, I sold him to a little young girl who was there. So anyway, but that was fun because I actually did barrel racing and some chase steers, ran away in the woods and stuff, and over hill and dale. I almost broke my damn leg going through a fence once on it, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, 4:13. Oh my God, it was time to break. I'm so sorry. Coming up, Biden, the fondler, coming up again. Also, tipping off the Biden transition team. The joke of the fox watching the hen house for the so-called independent counsel, and the school teacher in California says little kids at 3 or 4 should be taught about queerness. Because they already know it anyway. Oh, my God.
Sophia says, Stu Ball story on the way.
Stu Ball was a racehorse at 4:14 with a Kimmer-faded flounder. Most of the band members were unable to leak. So rainwater was tipped from an empty film canister to achieve the desired effect. So they had to fake taking a leak on a concrete barrier. Oh, there they are. Oh, my God.
They got the little...
That's the cover art? Well, no harm, no foul. Holy smokes. On our birthday list, Lynn Cheney, not the Liz Cheney, but Lynn Cheney, the wife of, quote, the heart attack machine, is 82 today. That's the Flounders history guy.
Heart attack
machine. And David Crosby would have been 82 today. He just recently passed away, as you know. And one historical note. Let's see. I was going to do this. Oh, actually, it's kind of a sports thing. Are you going to mention any kind of a rookie record at Holy Crap at Sports next hour?
The what now?
Are you going to mention any kind of a baseball rookie record next hour? I don't want to steal your baseball thunder.
I don't think about the Braves?
No.
No.
Okay. Then on this day in 1987, a new record was set for the number of Major League home runs by a rookie. 1987. The number and the name of the rookie, Pete Davis.
In 1987? The rookie. Okay. I know who set the original. Johnny Bench did a couple times back in the 60s.
The new record of 49 home runs in 1987.
Canseco?
Mark McGwire.
Oh, that guy.
I would have said
But he was skinny back then. That was before the steroid thing in 87.
Yeah.
He was a skinny guy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a record. And Holy Crap at Sports coming up there. By the way, speaking of baseball, the Yankees are in town, and we were mentioning isn't that tonight, right?
Yeah.
And the heat index is like 105 or more.
Good.
And we were mentioning, Pete, you mentioned you didn't do much this weekend because it was just too hot. I didn't. I was, I've been trying to go hit balls. It's been like a month now with this hot weather. I can't do it. And I don't know what happened. 12 years ago, not that. I mean, in my 60s, I used to down in Florida. In the summertime, I would walk playing golf and carry my bag.
Yeah, we used to play tennis in blue jeans in the middle of the summer.
I can't.
Drinking whiskey.
I go to the stable in the morning now on the weekend, so I come home and have to take a shower soaking wet, and I'm exhausted.
Hey, I stopped to get gas, and I was standing in the sun while I did it, and the whole time I'm going, why did I wear blue jeans?
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
They felt like they were 40 pounds.
For some reason, I'm feeling more... I guess it's excess humidity. It can't be the heat, because I used to live in Phoenix. And, it's...
International signal for a phone.
Phone call? Yeah. Well, let's see who's on the phone here.
Frank the Tank.
Hey, Frank the Tank, how's it going? You're on the radio, man. What's up?
Hey, Kimmer guys. Hey, not only are these things killing whales, the turbines that they're, slamming in the ground.
Yeah, windmills.
They also take 14,000 liters of crude oil, BOA oil, synthetic, to lubricate them.
Wait a minute, 14,000 gallons of oil?
No. Liters.
Liters. Well, so 7,000 gallons.
I'm breaking it down. So, anyways, they use a lot of oil, and every 3 years they have to be drained and, again, new oil.
Oh, wait, actually, I got it wrong. It's now, how many gallons, how many liters?
14,000.
So it'd be like 17,000 gallons. A liter's bigger than a gallon. Right? A liter's bigger than a gallon. So 1 liter would be like 1.5 gallons, 1 1/3 gallons. So it's even worse. Oh, my God.
Yes, and every 3 to 5 years maximum, they have to change the oil.
There's just so much we don't know about. It's a scam, and again, the media's all in on it. So but you would think the media would want to unveil something for the left.
But see, everyone thinks these motors just run on electricity somehow and not be lubricated. And the big giant fans that kill birds and eagles and all that.
Yeah, and I remember the famous case of the guy giving a tour of some electric car company, and there's a cord sticking out from inside the building, and he said, "Well, where do you get your power?" "Well, we plug it into the wall."
Exactly. Yep, exact same thing. Hey, a quick shout out to the posse out there, the YouTube posse. We're all watching. We're over there, Kimmer.
Outstanding. You guys are beautiful. Thank you, my friend.
Have a good day.
Semper Fi. Have a great afternoon yourself.
Why don't they drag the whale carcasses up the Potomac and just drop them off there and near the White House?
In front of the Washington Monument or something, Jefferson Memorial.
Let them rot there.
Yeah, Supreme Court building or something,
DNC headquarters.
And by the way, you think we're in a bizarre situation. How about, have you heard about the preschool teacher in California? Willie Villapando has said now that toddlers should be taught queerness and sexuality in the classroom. He's attacking the idea of childhood innocence, claiming that topics considered inappropriate can be shared with kids. The idea of childhood innocence is a myth. There's a common mythology that children live in the world of pure innocence. By introducing or exposing them to real-world adults are somehow shattering this illusion. He says he's an expert at developing a child's gender identity. He said when asked whether gender and sexuality is inappropriate for preschoolers, he said, no. Infants begin making gendered association by the time they're 10 months old. By the time kids are 3, they can label what gender they believe they identify with. And by 4, they can tell you what gender means for them and what they can or cannot do.
Groomer or pedophile?
Yeah. Teacher went on to say if parents didn't have conversation with kids, it was up to the teachers to foster classroom environments that make others uncomfortable. Exposing environments with more fluid understandings of gender are more likely to understand that gender is fluid. Educators should talk to little kids about queerness, even if parents avoid the topic.
You know what? I love when these pedophiles and groomers make my case about teachers for me.
Yeah. I mean, they had to scrub his social media accounts because people are saying, wait a minute, you're saying this out loud?
Sainted teacher. Well, he feels that he can now. That they've pushed the envelope to the point where they can get away with it now.
It's unbelievable.
And be open about touching children.
According, he says, it includes telling kids that it is a social construct about gender. This goes alongside teaching children to ask others for their pronouns. Trust me when I say children get this so much faster than adults give them credit for. Let kids practice with you.
What's his name again?
His name again is William Willie Villapando.
What city is he in?
This is in California in preschool. Rialto Unified School District.
Yeah. Parents, you got to be careful where you're sending your kids. These teachers, you got to monitor. If you have to sit in a classroom or put one of those little pin cameras on your kid.
He went on to attack the idea that kids can't be exposed to sexuality, claiming that such a view is very white, Christian, upper class,
here we go.
cisgendered.
Racist.
Hey, yeah,
racist. You're racist if you don't let us touch your kids. You're racist.
Parents haven't already had conversations about these things with their kids. The kids don't know they might be intersex, they might be agender, non-binary. Children have a right to see themselves in our classrooms. It's not okay to just forget about them or push them out because it might make us uncomfortable or make others uncomfortable. Talking to kids about gender includes telling them that it's a social construct.
People like this used to be told things like, you have till sundown to be out of this community. Don't let the sun set on you here.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
And we're putting up with it. Well, parents, this is what these are teachers, the sainted teachers.
Yeah. Flounder, if we got a minute and a half's worth of Flounder's Funnies, we haven't done that today yet. My bad.
Not a problem.
Not really?
This is a guy, what's his name? Brian Callen, talking about how men struggle with expressing their feelings.
Oh, that's a good one. Good one.
If men could cry, I would love that. I would love just once. Seriously, I would love to be able to just burst into tears, like, I'm so tired of being so strong and brave all the time. Seriously, I just would love once to be like, I don't know, and just right. But we can. Men can. We can't even talk about our feelings. I have nobody to talk to. That's not how we relate to each other. Guys don't want to hear. I've never, ever looked at a friend and been like, what's going on here? Say what you will about gender parity. You guys have that market cornered. You guys can cry over anything, huh? You can't. You can cry over nothing. I've seen that. I've seen it. I've walked in the room. I've been like, what's wrong? I don't know. I'm just having a day. I guess we're going shopping,
I had a little weeping session myself today.
Today?
Today.
Huh.
On my keychain.
Shower?
I'll have to wait. We're going into a 3:30 break here.
Well, maybe you should tell this to me
time.
during the break, and then we can say whether you should say it on the air.
No, it's perfectly nice. It's a perfectly sane story and everything else, but it led me to weep.
Was there a mirror involved?
No. And now that'll be coming up, along with a comment from the king of the morning teams in the past about what's going on in baseball and how they're putting mics on people and they're playing the outfield.
I didn't know there was 2 syllables in the word team.
Coming up, 4:30. Look out! Here we go. .431, it's only the Kimmer. How's it going? Don't know whether you've seen the latest predictions. The storm. ...1970 on this day was the first day of a 3-day festival, blues and jazz in Crumlin, Yorkshire, featuring Atomic Rooster, Pink Floyd, who didn't appear after being fog-bound in Paris. Also there, the Kinks, Elton John, Mungo Jerry. Remember Mungo Jerry? Let's see, Juicy Lucy. I don't remember. Weekend tickets for $4 for the weekend.
The Kinks lost their keyboardist last month. It didn't make that big of a deal. His name was Gosling, and he was one of the original guys.
Really?
Yeah.
The Kinks? I'll be damned. Are they the who sang Luai Luai? Oh, that was the Kingsmen.
Kingsmen.
I saw them in concert in 1964.
Were they wearing overalls too?
They were not. Okay. They were not. Quick birthday or two. Tim Tebow is 36 today.
Just 36.
36. And I don't even know what he's doing these days. He must have a foundation or something, doesn't he?
I think he's doing College Game Day a little bit, maybe with ESPN, stuff like that. Maybe.
I don't know. We'll find out because it's going to be, 2 weeks?
I think this is last weekend without college football. It's like, oh my God, it's already here. By the way, I am efforting to get the Totally Biased Guide to Southern College Football. The new edition is going to be out within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Excellent.
We hope.
We'll make sure we know that.
But soon.
We got a couple of feedbacks here coming up on our YouTube posse. But first, on this date in history, 1935, President Franklin D. This is from Flounder's history guide. This one says, 1935, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law, creating unemployment insurance and pension plans for the elderly and eventually the lazy. Well, now, wait a minute. That's not true. I mean, it's not, when you retire and you're old enough and stuff.
How about they steal our money for our entire lives and then give it away and other things that they said they weren't going to do, and there's no money there.
Right. Well, that's, it could, again.
That's why I'm taking it early.
I took it early. I took it at 62.
Damn right.
I gotten fired at 62. They blew me out of there. Dave Ramsey took over the show I was doing, and so I retired, went to Florida, and then started taking Social Security. Damn right, I earned it.
How'd that work out for them getting rid of all of those?
Oh, they disappeared. Yeah.
A heritage radio station they destroyed.
Disappeared.
Just destroyed it.
We got some feedback on. I got to tell my story here in a second. First, we got some little feedback.
Well, you told everybody that you cried this morning, and I made a joke. I said, was it involving a mirror?
Well, yes, that's so.
And Grubinator said, ouch, Pete. And Butch goes, did it involve a rubber hose or horsewhip?
Oh.
Sophia says, well, he won't remember after the break anyway to say it. And Blaine says, Sophia, remember, it's about the camera.
Well, what happened was, well, it's silly, but I'm silly, and I'm a very emotional guy. Okay, for I don't know how long, decades, I have carried in my pocket I have several keychains that I use for, but the keychain I have that has my house key, my mailbox key, and one other key on the keychain, which and it has, the only other thing it has on the keychain is a small little, like a 1-inch tab, like a little plastic tag, and it says, I love Cody. I heart Cody. Cody, Wyoming. And it was from when my parents, 40 or 50 years ago or whatever, took a trip. And it was a special trip. They went out west, and they went to Montana and Wyoming and the Dakota thing, which I've done too, and driving in my car, which is a thrill. Anyway, they went to the thing, and one of my mother's favorite memories was of they had a wonderful experience in Cody, Wyoming. And so she got a little keychain tag, a little plastic 1-inch, keychain tag, and it said, I heart Cody, Wyoming. And I've had that on my keychain for I don't know how long from my mother. And this morning I went to go check the post office box where we got from our podcast, and I pulled the keychain out of my little cup. I keep it in my car. I don't even take it in my pocket. I keep it in the car. And then I take it out of the cup holder in my car, put it in my pocket, the keychain in my pocket, go into the post office, take the post office key for the mail thing, open it up, and put it back in my pocket, go back to the car, and put it back in the car. So the only place that keychain goes is the car, my pocket, the post office, my pocket, and the car. This morning, I take it out to go to the post office. I drive to the post office parking lot. I reach into the cup holder to take out my keychain, which I take out, and the little tag is gone. It's gone. Somehow it slipped off somewhere. I looked every possible place that it could have been, in the car, under the seat. I mean, everywhere, and it's gone. I can't find it. And it must have obviously dropped out of my pocket on one of my trips to and from whatever. And I thought, oh my God, it's like a link. I mean, it was so personal because I used it every day. And it's gone. Sorry, Mom. Anyway, and I actually cried. I was very sad about it. So anyway, okay, fine. That's all good.
I guess I shouldn't have played that comedy.
No, it's fine.
I need one now.
It's all good.
Gribbonator says it's at the stable. He knows it's at the stable.
No, it's not. I never took it out of the stable. It would never have gone out of the car at the stable. Again, it's just obviously.
You're braver than me. I would not have carried that around with me. I would have been so scared of losing it.
Well, but I never took it anywhere. I went from the car to my pocket to the post office to the pocket to the car. Period. That's it. So I obviously it came out of when I pulled it out of my pocket. The thing was a little loose. It was a little teeny plastic card. It had been there for 30, I don't know, a year. I mean, I don't know. And so clearly it wasn't attached strong.
You know, it's funny because when my dad passed, I inherited his Kroger card that went on your keychain.
Yeah.
And it's about falling apart. It was in plastic and everything.
Yeah.
And I still have it, but since I don't go to Kroger much anymore, I just took it off, and I could have used it today. But I took it off, and it's so beat up and battered from being in your pocket all those times, but I can't throw it away.
Yeah. And speaking, in case you missed it earlier, you went to get gas at Kroger, did you?
No, I went to Ingles today.
Ingles, and how much was your gas fee?
I had 10 cents per gallon off, so it was $4.01.
$4.01. And if you went to Rumble or YouTube or the Kim Peterson Facebook page over the weekend, you saw me pumping gas at the Shell station near me for $5 a gallon.
Wait, where do you go, to Sucker Gas Company?
$5 a gallon.
You're
$4.99.9.
Get a gas card from Kroger.
Oh, so I would have gone $4.90 instead of $5. Well, I got to drive around to Kroger.
Sometimes it's 25 cents off.
All right. Well, so 7 gallons is you save $2.
Okay, Mr. Money. Okay, Thurston Howell III. You don't need the money. Okay.
I don't know. Why don't I drive around finding a Kroger, at 12 miles a gallon?
Right.
It costs me more money to go get the card than it is to use it.
Oh, my God. I drove 40 minutes this morning looking for cupcakes for Flounder, and I found the worst Kroger in Atlanta.
We missed his birthday.
I went to the Kroger down the street here on Cobb Parkway. It's noon.
Yeah.
The deli is not open.
I know,
it's
wait a minute.
Dark. It's dark.
You can't have a closed Kroger deli at noon.
There was one sushi chef there who would not make eye contact. And the other, the deli, all I wanted was a sandwich.
And was this in this Sandy Springs?
It's right down the road from it's near your billboard.
You have to wonder if the service industry will ever recover.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Well, I don't think so.
I don't think our service industry ever is going to recover. And plus now AI is doing everything.
They can't make sandwiches.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is we're never going to recover from the political split of hatred which is engulfing this country now, where we'll never come together.
Well, they got a generation of lazy, you-know-whats that don't want to work.
We'll never get back.
Quit giving them money, and I bet they find a job.
Well,
go hungry a little bit.
Too many people feel sorry for too many people and feel responsible.
Well, stop doing that.
Yeah, well, that's a cell phone, I'm telling you. Anyway, by the way, we know, speaking of perverts, and we were earlier, and we will for another moment here, former Senator Scott Brown is being very clear about President Pants on Fire and the way he treats women and little girls. There's been a famous story for some time, which is now coming back, excuse me, into the vernacular. The incident occurred when I was Vice President Biden at the time in 2010, when former Senator Brown and his wife Gail were at the Capitol, and he was being sworn in. And at the time, Vice President Biden had his arm behind the guy's wife's back and was acting inappropriately. And so the senator turned around and said, I told him to knock it off. And I told him I'd kick his ass and knock that blank out, or I told him to stop. And so he said he did. But this is not the first time that's been going on. He said the former senator Scott Brown said I warned him about it and I called him on it, and that was pretty much the ball game. But this has been going on for years and years and years. You remember just recently he tried to nibble the shoulder of a startled little Finnish girl, scared the crap out of her. Eva Longoria, remember, had to take the president's hands off her waist as he was trying to feel her up. His hands were driving up northward toward the old lumps of love there. And she had to take, well, I'm sorry to be, well, kind of the biblical phrase. I don't want to go, breasticles or whatever you want to say about the thing there. Anyway, and Eva Longoria had to move his freaking hands away from her. He told in October, he remembered telling this young girl, make sure you don't have any sexual serious relationships till you're 30. And then during a speech to the National Education Association a month earlier, he left people aghast when he followed his remarks about a friendship he had with a 12-year-old girl when he was 30. Gee, that kind of rounds itself out, doesn't it?
It's amazing that we haven't seen him on one of those Epstein planes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, he raped the girl.
Allegedly.
Well, he digital raped her. His own staff girl, remember? Tara Reid. Regging my ass for quarter five. I'll give you a little time. Sonny and Cher, on this day in 1965, began a 3-week run at #1 with I Got You, Babe. Sonny was said to have been inspired to write the song to capitalize on the popularity of the term babe, as heard in Bob Dylan's It Ain't Me, Babe. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Sonny and Cher, 1965. And, of course, he skied into a tree and killed himself.
George of the jungle there.
Yeah, there you go.
Watch out for that
tree. Sonny and Cher, next. By the way, on this day in 1964, you may not remember, if you're not a certain age, Johnny Burnett had the famous song Year 16. Also, what the heck with the other one? It was another song. I used to love his other song, Johnny Burnett. I've been dreaming, or only dreaming, or I'm dreaming, or I want to dreaming, or something like that. Johnny Burnett in 1964 was killed in a boating accident in Clear Lake, California. He was only 30. His boat was struck by an unaware cabin cruiser, threw him off the boat, and he drowned. Johnny Burnett. Sorry, buddy. That's not that good. A quick birthday, you may know the name Susan Brightman. I'm really not familiar with her work, but she's a well-known actress. She's 63. She played Christine in Phantom of the Opera. Her ex-husband, Andrew Lloyd Webber, wrote the musical version of Phantom. Sarah Brightman.
You said Susan. Sarah Brightman.
I said Susan? Sarah Brightman. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sarah
Beautiful
Brightman.
voice.
Yep. Christine, Phantom of the Opera.
I have her Christmas album. It's pretty good.
The musical version of Phantom, he was her ex-husband, Andrew Lloyd Webber. He was already planning to cast her as Christine, and he wrote the song The Music of the Night just for her. And by the way, that's a beautiful song,
That's
The
from
Music
Cats.
of the Night. That's from Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Sarah Brightman.
She's got a really high voice.
We're playing Johnny Burnett. Here we go. Your heart goes pop. And ooh, when we kissed, we could not stop. I drunk out of my dreams into my love. Now you're my angel divine. You're 16. You're beautiful, and you're mine.
I know. This is Wander Franco's favorite song, too, I understand. By the way, Ringo did a better version of this song.
No, he did not.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Yeah, Ringo's went #1.
Oh, my God. All right, now, we got a little feedback on our YouTube posse, didn't we?
Sophia's 3 for 3 today. She's on fire.
Oh, what now?
Lumps of Love. What a silver-tongued devil. Surprisingly still single.
Notice we haven't heard a lot about the morning show trying to fix me up with a girl.
Yeah,
either,
that
have we?
ship is sailed.
I think that horse is out of the old barn on that baby.
It's gone.
By the way, a couple things. We got actually have newsy stuff. I'm in a weird mood. I'm sorry. I'm just being goofing around. A couple things. We mentioned the ball game. It's got to be hotter than the blazes. If you're going to the ballpark, you got to be very, very careful on your water intake. Hydration, absolutely. And speaking of that, I don't know what your comment was, if you have one, Pete, about oopsie, that's not it. About if I can only find it. Damn it. Here we go. No, I found it. I got it. I was watching a game yesterday or over the weekend. I can't remember whether it was Saturday or Sunday, and with the Braves. And they got a mic on Michael Harris in the outfield.
Yes, sir.
And doing interviews and stuff. And so this is when back in the day when we were all just rolling in, having great time, great success on the radio, our morning guy was Tom Hughes. Tom Hughes and Steve Holman were the greatest morning team around. And the king, we called him the king, and just as good as it gets. Well, Tom Hughes is, of course, he's been retired for many, many years. He and his wife, the former judge, world travelers and all over the place.
Yes.
No, it's true. They got homes everywhere.
Gadabouts.
No, they're unbelievable. Anyway, Tom Hughes writes, watching the Braves on Disney ESPN, oh my God. Michael Harris mic'd live in center field answering insipid questions. Quote, what's your favorite headband? Who sent that in? Iger's granddaughter? Just stop it. And by the way, I was watching when the guy said, what's your favorite headband? And Michael Harris roaming in the outfield, the center field, saying, well, the one I'm wearing now is, I'm going, what the hell is he even talking? I mean, this is not entertainment to me.
I don't mind it as much. They have to try and do something to get the kids involved. Baseball's got to do something for the younger generation, and this is one of it because other sports do it.
I guess.
And baseball can do it better than others because there is lulls in the action.
Yeah, you couldn't do it with a first baseman or the third baseman.
You can't do it in hockey.
Yeah.
They're winded. They're winded.
Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, crap.
Too much cussing going on, too.
Ouch. Yeah.
But I don't, for some reason, I don't mind it as much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, also, there's a new Gen Z thing going on now. I had no idea about this. Do you know the phrase LOL?
Yeah.
Which means
laugh out loud.
Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I remember the famous story of the woman an older woman who wasn't quite sure of the term, and she had heard that one of her best friends had died, and there was a funeral announcement, and so she sent a message to the lonely widow saying, "What a wonderful man! I know you're going to meet him in heaven one day." LOL, thinking it meant lots of love. So that's not good.
I'm laughing out loud.
LOL for probably the passing of your wonderful. Well, now there's a new one. Have you heard Idgeball or Idgeball?
No.
Idgeball or Idgeball? Idgeball. IJBOL. And there's a queen of Idgeball. The queen of Idgeball is Vice President Shiftless and Lazy, Vice President America's favorite side piece, Carmela Harris. Idgeball stands for I just burst out laughing.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's that's the new thing. I just burst out laughing. So that if you see somebody IJBOL, Idgeball, they call it Idgeball. That's what it means. I just burst out laughing.
I'll write that down.
There you are. Let's see. How about a little? We had our Fox people doing some AI information a little while ago. Pete Davis, do we have a little Skynet here? Have a little Skynet update? And more news on the Biden scandal, the family scandal coming up too. What's the matter?
The FEC, Federal Election Commission, has decided this AI thing's gotten a little out of hand.
Yeah.
We have got to control what they do in election ads.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Because think about it. They could have
candidate saying something that wasn't true.
They could have you looking at President Trump thinking that's him talking, and you think he's saying, we're going to bomb Russia as soon as I get back in there, something like that. Yeah, and so they're going to crack down on it. They don't say how they're going to do it, because how can you tell the difference between a deep fake and a real person these days? So it's going to be interesting how they're able to do it, because the government will get their top men on it, which means incompetence, probably the FBI.
Well, a famous Hollywood director, as I saw being interviewed this morning, saying the same thing about actors, voices, scripts. It's all going to be done. I mean, it's all, if you're not careful.
I have no problem with taking someone like a Humphrey Bogart and recording everything he ever said on film, and then using him in the future to do some stuff, because then it's fake.
Well, he's dead.
You've done, and you give residuals to the family or whatever. Yeah. But do something like that's fine. But you take somebody who's alive right now,
you can't,
and you steal their looks and stuff.
It's theft.
Well, that's what the NCAA players did. They sued these games that were the NCAA had that game out, the basketball, and the UCLA guy sued them. Say, wait a minute, that's my name, that's me, that's my number, that's my team.
You didn't ask me.
Everybody knows that's me. Yeah. You're making money off me. Yeah. And he won.
Yeah. Well, he should, as he should. That's only fair. If you do something, you get paid for it.
That's right. So that's why, for once, the actor is actually right about something. This strike, they're right to strike right now with what they're doing.
Yeah. Totally not a problem with that. At 4:58 already, I can't even believe it. Let's see. I'm going to talk about the Biden crime family here in a second, too, and the transition team. They were tipped off. The FBI tipped off the Bidens before they got caught with the Hunter interview as well as the storage locker stuff. But first of all, tell me about the show The Chosen.
Yes, sir.
I've seen the name, but I don't know much about it, and you were bragging about it a minute ago.
It's won some awards, and I've heard about it last couple of years. It's basically a new version of the life of Jesus, basically. And it's the guy he's got long hair and everything. He does a lot of, in fact, he's got his thing out now, it's religious. And he's a devout Christian, and he's an actor. And I kept seeing this, and he looks like Jesus, right? Not the beautiful Jesus with the blue eyes and everything, but
Yasser Arafat Jesus.
But a guy who actually looks like he's from the Middle East, because maybe be Jewish. I mean, he actually looks the part.
He was a Jewish fellow.
Yeah, that's what I understand there for a little bit. But anyway, up till the end, I think. Yeah. But yes, I'm flicking around on Peacock, and I've pretty much run out of things on Netflix and Amazon. I've caught up with everything, and I go, well, there's a little Peacock. I'll check on that since I'm paying for it. So I flicked on there and it said The Chosen. I said, well, now it's Sunday night. I might as well give it a shot. And I watched the first one. And it kind of, going, I'm going, this is okay, it's okay. And then the last 5 minutes, bam. It is a great ending.
So I have to watch this on my watch then? I have to buy a watch to watch this show?
No, you have to stand outside your neighbor's house.
So it's a good show, you're saying?
It's really, the first one's good.
So the reason they don't have you be able to watch it because they put it on TV and it's not on TV is a good reason?
It's on Peacock.
That's not on
you
TV.
Luddite.
It's not on my... Do I got to buy another television to watch your stupid show?
Peeping
Get it together, ladies. Left shoulder. Right of blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Fire. Road guards out. Oh my God. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kibber 503 with Pete Davis and Philander, the mechanical mangler at the controls. Hope you had a happy weekend, a decent weekend. Yankees are in town. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete coming up. And coming up, we'll talk about the media coverage of an issue concerning a certain all-star shortstop and a social media post, which could be a major thing. We'll see. We don't know about that. Also, the Trump case in Georgia looks like something may happen tomorrow. They had meetings with this so-called grand jury business. We'll talk about that. What a joke that is. Also, President Pence on fire, once again, even getting criticized by Democrats, which is about time. And also, just thinking about this, if we would just to take the facts of what's happened to this country in the last 6 years, and instead of having the Biden be the Democrat, have the Trump person be the person who was being coddled by the Department of Justice and the media and everything else, and see whether they would stand for it. Just we'll deal with that a little bit later on. Also, Skittles has now apparently tried to become part of the new boycott treatment, just like they did to Bud Light, as well as a Native American group of American Indians is saying, hey, we can't erase history. We want to go back to the name Redskins. We'll talk about those couple things coming up here, too. And the Yankees are in town. Mention Holy Crap at Sports with Pete. First of all, the court website for Fulton County, Georgia, posted a document seeming to outline the several charges against former President Donald Trump. Then it was taken down. So have we had I haven't seen anything lately on the explanation for this. It was either somebody did it to show what was about to happen, or it was a complete accident and somebody hit the wrong button for something. But anyway, according to this post, it was now taken down. And a spokesman for the DA's office, Fanny Chicken Liver, the coward of Fulton County, said those charges were filed, were inaccurate. Beyond that, we cannot comment. The document said there was a RICO act. They're going to try to charge him with racketeering. Solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree in his attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. But this is unbelievable. First of all, if he believed what he was saying, then you can't charge a man for saying what he believed.
AJC's taken that story down, so it looks like it was kind of bogus. We don't know.
Again, it came out and then disappeared.
Yeah.
And we've got the screenshots.
Because they're still talking to the grand jury, so they haven't.
They're having more testimony tomorrow, so they couldn't possibly, unless if they've already decided, then this is another scandal.
How about
the fix is in?
Residents of Fulton County, you can see around you your neighborhood's falling apart and the crime being rampant, and this is what your leaders are doing. They're going after Trump, which has nothing to do with your life. Nothing.
And this would be the fourth indictment against the former president, plus 2 impeachments.
Never before.
You don't think that this... Have you ever seen an example of any political system where a former president, king, prime minister...
Brazil.
I mean, exactly, yeah. I mean, this is unheard of. Impeach him twice, and then 4 criminal indictments, and he got convicted in a civil course of $5 million fine for the lady who said he raped her, and they said, no, you didn't rape her, but he's going to have to pay her $5 million because he said bad things about her.
This is an all concerted effort by one party to dictate to the nation who can run for president.
That's right. This is the banana republic, third world banana republic. This is unheard of in America. How could there be any other explanation? In fact, if you look at every single angle for 6 years, the Russian collusion was all fake. It was a setup by the Department of Justice and the FBI and Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage and her campaign. We know that's now true. The Department of Justice, the FBI, the media, the Secret Service covering up the Hunter Biden scandal, all the Joe Biden scandals, all the 4 indictments. If it had turned out, by the way, if all these things are real, and we know they are because we're seeing the evidence of it, you would think that the media would be able to jump on this like a crow on a June bug to say, oh my God, look at all these scandals. If it turns out that all these things are true, let's pretend that it had been Donald Trump who was coddled by the media. Donald Trump could stay in his basement and the media protected him for the whole 4 years. They claimed that somebody else was all the Russian agent trying to fake him out, everything else. And then they found out that the media and the Department of Justice and the FBI had been helping Donald Trump for 6 years. They'd burn down the country.
Yep.
I mean, think about it. If it had happened that for 6 years, the media, the FBI, the Secret Service, the Department of Justice, the CIA, the Director of National Intelligence, Clapper and Brennan, all those guys lying, the 51 big-time Charlie guy saying the Hunter laptop was a fake Russian disinformation, if it had turned out that all that stuff was to benefit Donald Trump and turned out to be true, they would burn down the country. But we know it's all true to protect the Democrat, and nobody gives a damn. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's true. You saw it. You lived it. Russian collusion, my ass.
And if our side does what their side does when they're mad,
they would have burned down every courthouse, every national monument, and everything in this country.
And if we do it, they'll put the whole might of the U.S. military against us. And that's what they're waiting for us to do.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
By the way, I saw your billboard today.
I have not seen my billboard. But is it only mine? It's got to be our billboard. Is it just mine billboard?
It says the camera, and then it change. It's one of those that can change and do other stuff as well.
Oh, so it's not really mine. It's got to
it's yours. The biggest. It's the biggest. It stays on the longest. It's your billboard.
Right.
It's big.
Does it mention Pete and Flounder?
No, it's just you. It's a camera show.
No, that's not.
That's good. But when I turn around, come back the other way, the billboard coming the other way, right near it, is all about. It says gonorrhea alert.
The camera's back. The camera's back. Gonorrhea alert. I haven't had gonorrhea in years.
Yeah,
oh, no, sorry.
I'll tell you what.
When's the last time you said gonorrhea or even saw the word gonorrhea on that billboard?
It's been a while.
I mean, is that even a thing?
Yeah, it's still around, especially with your age people in the retirement
the
homes.
old folks. Oh, that's right.
I think that's more of the herpes.
Yeah, herpes, I think.
Yeah, they say the STDs are rampant now.
Well, I think because they don't, why use protection? You're 82.
You're finally at the point where you have to worry about knocking the girl up anymore. And now you got to worry about the other stuff.
Well, and you're so what? so you get a rash or whatever just once in a while. I mean, they don't care if they're 82 years old or 79 or whatever. I don't
falling
know.
Off.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't think I'll ever have to worry about it. To be honest with you. Oh my God. 511. The Trump case. Now, by the way, Tucker Carlson's latest Twitter release. It's called Tucker on Twitter, but I thought they called it X now.
Well, okay, just call it Twitter.
Yes,
no one's calling it
Twitter.
No
anyway, he interviewed the former police chief of the capital city, capital Washington, D.C., who said there were a whole bunch of federal agents, FBI secret agents in the crowd, but he was not told about them, and he was told to mind his own business, and he said that this has never happened before. It's standard police work. If the police have an idea that there's going to be a problem at a demonstration or a confrontation of some kind, of course they send people there to see what's going on. Yeah. Of course they send people to take pictures. Of course they investigate and they have people there. But for the FBI to tell the police chief, we just stay out of this. We're taking care of this on our own. And they never told him anything. He was totally in the dark. And by the way, the chief believes that intelligence officials in power were aware of the attack in advance and covered it up by failing to disseminate the information to those who needed it. After facing mounting pressure from Congress and the union representing the Capitol Police, the police chief, Mr. Sun, resigned from his position. And the new police chief was elevated, and then he quit after the January 6th was all over, and the Democrats gave him a huge position teaching courses for the University of California collegiate system. I'll be darned. The ones who were in on it. I mean, this is amazing. And then, in case you didn't see it, an FBI agent, the word of the official transcript is out now. An FBI supervising special agent told investigators that the FBI Biden transition team got together with the Secret Service and were tipped off that they were going to go after Hunter Biden for an interview, and it was blocked because the internal FBI supervisory agent said he was stopped from doing anything by the Department of Justice, once again protecting Joe and Hunter crime family. If that had been protecting Trump kid, honest to God, I'm sick of it. 5:13, Holy Crap, It's Sports is coming up. Look out. NASCAR redneck, it says here in Flounders, calling him NASCAR redneck. 67. How about Holy Crap at Sports and Pete Davis?
Braves host the Spankies for 3 games starting tonight. Max Fried on the mound for the good guys. The Yankees coming off maybe the worst loss of their miserable season, giving up 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th and losing to the Marlins in Miami. Clark Schmidt will be starting for New York tonight. Bravos won 3 out of 4 in Flushing against the impotent AAA team the Mets are fielding these days. We gave them a break yesterday by letting them hit against Yanni Chirinos. Lots of fans wanting to see Michael Soroka, who's pitching very well in Gwinnett right now, so that's good to see. Yesterday, Matt Olson smacked his 43rd homer.
2-1 and a drive to right center field. Pushing back towards the wall. Matt Olson has done it again. It's a 2-run home run as the barrel of his bat just crashed into that pitch from Rayleigh. And it's a 1-run ball game.
Ben Egren with the call, 680 to the Fan, right down the hallway from us right here.
There you go.
And by the way, Olson is now the National League Player of the Week. He shares that with Michael Lorenzen of the Phillies, who threw a no-hitter. Ozzie Albies left the game last night with a sore hamstring. And, of course, the A-Wipes at ESPN tried to turn it into a scandal by claiming he was lollygagging. He got pulled from the game.
Oh,
turns out he's got a sore hamstring. That's typical ESPN.
Did they correct themselves, I'm assuming?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Someone told me they said it.
Yeah.
So Michael Harris II will bat second tonight. Ozzie's out of the lineup tonight. Got that. Time for a mini rant. I watched this Fox Sports coverage of the Braves game on Saturday, and the entire pregame show is dedicated to finding weak spots in the Atlanta team and how the Dodgers can beat them, because Dontrell Willis has picked the Dodgers, and he likes the Dodgers, and they're out there in L.A., and by God, it's all L.A. Dodgers. Fox is pro-L.A., ESPN is always pro-New York and the Northeastern teams. Both networks are full of Mets, Yankees, Phillies, Red Sox tools that hate the Braves, so they all can eat a bag of Doritos.
Donuts. I was going to say donuts, sorry.
Why is there not E in the plural Doritos, by the way?
That's another wonderful question.
Okay. I really enjoyed watching Alan Winans pitch so well. Did you watch him pitch?
I did not. I did not. I'm sorry.
It's against the team that let him go a couple years ago, and he did very well. Yeah. How bad are the Yankees right now? Well, former Brave Josh Donaldson's contract has $50 million owed across 2 more seasons. This means the Yankees will continue to pay him even if he leaves or retires. That's not good for them.
And again, he left when he was hot with the Braves.
Yeah, he's
probably good timing for our.
He's batting 142.
Yeah, that's not
10 home runs and 15 RBIs on that.
Not good.
He's the poster boy for their bad decisions. Brian Cashman used to be one of the top 3 general managers in baseball, but if they miss the playoffs, both he and Aaron Boone need to get the boot.
Well, didn't they got rid of their 2 top guys? Didn't they get rid of?
That's the Mets.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Yankees.
Oh, the Yankees. Yeah, sorry.
I can see why you get confused.
Well, New York.
One's been around since like the 1800s. The other one just came in 1962.
Well, I'm still sad about losing my mother's keychain tag from my heart Cody.
Oh, you're so pretty.
I'm sorry. Poor boy.
On this date in 1982, Atlanta snapped an 11-game losing streak with a win over the Padres. They moved within a game and a half games of first place L.A. in the NL West. This was right after Ted Turner moved Chief Nakahoma's TP back where it belongs. Thus breaking the jinx.
Yes.
1996, the Braves call up their top prospect.
Chipper Jones.
No, that was a couple years before. 96.
96. Oh, that was Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson is not that old. Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones. I knew. In fact, he was on TV the other night being interviewed as part of the game. It was very interesting.
He's been in Europe for the last month.
You know, what your favorite headband, we don't really care about that. So anyway, sorry.
What's my favorite?
No, I was making a joke about them asking Michael Harris.
Okay. 2007, Bobby Cox was thrown out by the umpire for arguing a strike call against Chipper. 132nd career ejection, breaking the John McGraw record that has stood for over 70 years. years.
Yeah, good for you, Bobby.
And by the way, every time the Braves beat the Mets, read the New York Post. Read their stories and then read the comment section.
Yeah.
My favorite was one guy is just sure that Acuna has some kind of wire on him at second base and first base to tell him when to steal. I mean, they're paranoid. They're insane. It's so funny. I mean, let's go Mets. And, you got to believe and stuff like that. It's hysterical. Falcons had their first exhibition game of the preseason, which surprised the hell out of everybody because nobody knew.
Yeah.
But for some bizarre...
I was
had no clue.
roaming around through team. I said, oh, my God, the Falcons are playing.
I'm sorry. They didn't start their quarterback, Desmond Ridder, nor play him. So, I guess he doesn't need any more practice.
I think he's all set to go.
Okay. Running back Bijan Robinson is going to make his debut Friday against the Bengals, so I will be watching that. I will like to see that. And they waived Michael Walker, one of their starting linebackers from last season. So I guess they're set there for some reason there. This year's Associated Press preseason top 25 college football poll is number 1. Georgia with 60 first place votes.
60 out of 63, I think.
Number 2, the Wolverines only got 2 first place votes.
That's
number 3, Buckeyes 1 first place vote. And number 4, Alabama 0 first place. When was the last time that happened?
Wow.
And here's my prediction. If Alabama figures out their quarterback, I think they win it this year. I think they win the national championship.
Really?
If they can figure out to replace Bryce Young.
Well, we're in a situation where we don't know what we're going to do. I mean,
Carson back. They got to fix their quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got.
By the way, LSU, I think, was 5th, right?
Yeah, LSU. I was just about to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were moving on.
Helper over here.
Mr. Helper.
I was trying to help out. Once again, I'm clearly wrong. Everything I do is fine, though.
There's 6 SEC teams in the top 25, including the Rebels of Ole Miss at number 22.
I was going to mention that earlier.
And Hugh Freeze has already made an impact on the field at Auburn, or more precisely, the lake. Auburn, a big weekend. They won the national championship title
of
the Bassmaster College National Championship Fishing Contest.
Well, there you are.
Hayden Marbutt and Tucker Smith caught 53 pounds and 12 ounces over 3 days, led from start to finish.
Outstanding.
It's the closest Auburn players get to water all season, by the way. And Sweden's women's national team coach Peter Gerhardsson was looking to get out of Dodge after he left their news conference in New Zealand the other day.
Yeah.
And he walked over to the door. Good night, everybody, waving, opened the door and walked in, and it was the janitor's closet. And he turns around and he's just waving at quit looking at me, quit looking at me. He walks out the other side. Everybody's laughing, so it's pretty damn funny.
He should have done what I said.
Good night, everyone.
Well, what you should have done was what President Crime Family should have done when he tripped on Air Force One steps. He should have turned around and gone, ta-da! Ta-da! You know, it would have been a great moment.
Or even better, once he opened, you could see the brooms and the mops and stuff like that. He should have just looked and just kept walking and closed the door behind him.
Or grabbed a broom and started doing a dance. I mean, whatever. Just for the hell of it.
But that's sports.
Excellent. Well, there's one more little sports thing I thought might be interesting. On this day in 1953, one of the great inventions of all time, and something that we are going to be talking about after I tell you this quick story.
Right.
The summer of 1953, this is a story from a gentleman whose name escapes me for the moment, but I'll get to it. The guy began, summer 53, our grandfather was watching our father, who was 12 years old at the time, and a friend play a game in their backyard in Fairfield, Connecticut. They had a perforated plastic golf ball and a broomstick handle. They had given up on baseball and softball, not enough players for only 2 teams, not enough space for a field, too many broken windows and so forth. So they had this little plastic golf ball and stuck holes in it and tried to hit it with a broomstick. After days of trying to throw curves and sliders with a golf ball, my dad told Grandpa, Dad was 12, that his arm felt like jelly. And Gramps said, well, I've been a semi-pro pitcher. I know something about throwing curveballs is not good for young arms, and thought he might be able to help. So Grandpa picked up some ball-shaped plastic parts from a nearby factory, cut various designs into them, and sent Dad out to test them. They both agreed the ball with 8 oblong perforations worked the best. That's how Wiffle perforated plastic ball was invented. To this day, we don't know exactly why it works. It just does. The ball they designed was easy to make curve and harder to hit with lots of strikeouts. In our dad's neighborhood, a strikeout was called a whiff. which led our brand name and federally registered trademark Wiffle. The rules are based on the rules that Dad used in the backyard games. When Gramps saw how much fun Dad and his friends enjoyed the game, he thought others might too. Not long after that summer day, the first Wiffle perforated plastic balls were produced and sold. The game caught on pretty fast, and now the balls are available from the U.S. and many countries all over the world, and we hope you enjoy your family fun times. I used to love to play wiffle ball.
Who doesn't love wiffle
I mean,
ball?
and by the way, there's a bunch of different sizes. There are some big, almost softball-sized wiffle balls.
And they can
too.
make them do amazing things now.
And it's and the wiffle ball bat. I mean, plastic stuff.
Will someone invite us to play wiffle ball with them?
Honestly, I would definitely go someplace to play wiffle ball for an hour on a Saturday afternoon or something.
Love it.
We grew up, like, our house was in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And what we would do is we would put some duct tape around the wiffle ball, so kind of add a little weight to it.
But it wouldn't curve as much, though, would it?
I mean, if you didn't have to wrap it too much, but it would just give a little weight. That way you can kind of give it some distance.
Yeah, but I mean, it was always so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Anyway.
I miss it.
Yeah.
We need to play. Somebody I heard years ago, they put like a mini Fenway Park wiffle ball thing in their backyard. It
Really?
was somewhere in Cobb County or some Cherokee.
Well, in fact, my grandkids were telling me, and my daughter Sarah, that Brady and Molly and their neighborhood friends all tend to play in this little kind of it's not really a vacant lot, but it's a lot where they hasn't built a house on it yet in their neighborhood. And one day, one of the old timers, one guy's like 80 years old, came over there and gave him a whole bag of wiffle balls and stuff because he said, they sometimes hit him into the woods or lose them. So, and it's a whole. He said, and the old guy would just stand there and watch him play wiffle ball just because it was so much fun. Everybody's having fun, laughing, missing, and goofing around. It's just a simple little thing, and there's so much joy for almost no money and a very simple little game. And it brings back childhood memories, and I think about that. It was cool.
We used to play. We didn't have wiffle balls for some reason. We played with a tennis ball and a real baseball bat. We got from Rico Cardi and Hank Aaron Braves bat days.
Yeah,
and we'd take those to the farm in Mississippi. We'd play with a tennis ball for hours.
We did too, and you could hit those damn things pretty good.
Co-op. It made this great sound. Co-op.
Yeah, we definitely did that. There's a new possible boycott in the works on a nationwide basis. Skittles candy. Skittles candy's slogan is "Taste the Rainbow."
Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, they have new packaging that has the... Here's what they've done. By the way, Skittles is a project from the Wrigley Company, which is a division of Mars Incorporated. And there's Skittles Pride. The animation, when you visit Skittles.com, animation says there's a story in every rainbow. We've given up our rainbow so that the LGBTQ plus community can share theirs. This Pride Month, we're amplifying stories within the LGBTQ plus community for all to discover. We begin by showcasing the designs of 5 talented artists on our Skittles Pride packs. 5 new design Skittles candy wrappers. One of them has children on skateboards riding on a half pipe with the phrases "skate and live," "joy is resistance," and "black trans lives matter." Black trans lives matter on a Skittles bag? Skittles trying to turn your kids into BLM and LGBTQ activists. Their packaging features a drag queen.
Jeez.
Black tranny lives matter. Their marketing aimed at children. It's a middle of a cartoon playground filled with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Skittles.
Skittles. Remember that. Skittles.
Yeah, Skittles, baby. Remember, black tranny lives matter.
They suck anyway. I've never liked Skittles.
Oh, my God.
But it's worthless calories.
It's a deliberate attempt. All right, 5:30.
Hold on. Pedophiles and groomers.
Oh, my God. Groomers. Groomer candy. All right, hold on. We'll be back. On this day in 1965, the Beatles taped an appearance for the Ed Sullivan Show on CBS at Studio 50 in New York. They performed this song, I Feel Fine, I'm Down, Act Naturally, Ticket to Ride, Yesterday, and Help.
Help.
Also on this day, the Beatles' fifth album, Help, started a 9-week run at number 1 in the UK, which is a good thing. Dun, 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 dun. I got to turn up my thing there with the thing.
Well, there are no Dave Clark 5.
Well, no, just stop. I mentioned a Dave Clark 5 earlier as part of one of the bands of this. Thanks, Scott. A quick birthday, Gary Larson, the Far Side. Gary Larson is 73 today.
Really?
Yeah. I thought he was older than that, to be honest with you. He's been around for so long.
I can only hope that he spent the last 25 years doing new cartoons, and he's going to just release a bunch of them at one point.
Every year I would tell my kids, I want the Gary Larson calendar, I want the one-day calendar, I want the hanging calendar. I mean, just Gary Larson. The two dinosaurs smoking cigarette. What really happened to the dinosaur? I mean, just or the two dinosaurs on the shore of the lake, and the ark is. Oh crap! Was that today?
Was that today?
No, it's Ark leaving. I mean. Wombats or whatever. I forgot what it was, but anyway. So that's kind of cool. Now, also another a thing of history here, if you don't mind. Oh, now just don't do my stupid phone because I got to put these on to do the thing with the thing. Okay, it was on this very day in 1995. Shannon Faulkner became the first female cadet in the history of the Citadel, South Carolina State Military College. Shannon Faulkner showed up fat, out of shape, and quit less than a week later. She had to go to court because on her application, she did not put whether what her sex or gender was. It just had her name Shannon Faulkner. They assumed it was a guy. And so then they found out, and there was lawsuits. Well, the court allowed Shannon Faulkner to enroll as a day student. There was the issue of also boarding a person, one girl and all guys. So the court allowed her to enroll as a day student in January 1994 while the case was adjudicated. That fall, South Carolina writer Pat Conroy called her. A Citadel graduate, as you may know, Pat Conroy, famously wrote the Lords of Discipline. Conroy was shunned after he wrote the Lords of Discipline, loosely based on his years at the school, during which the first black student enrolled. Faulkner remembers Conroy telling her, "The Citadel will find her weakness and use it to bring you down." Shannon Faulkner attended 3 semesters before the court ruled in her favor. The week before she was to join the Corps enrollment, Faulkner was at a grocery store near her home in Powdersville when a man came up behind her, grabbed her arms, and told her if she enrolled, he would enjoy watching her house burn down with her parents inside. She thought it was an idle threat, unlikely to be acted upon. She and her parents had already received a steady stream of menacing calls. Their house had been vandalized. Her first day at the Citadel, August 15th, 1995, as Faulkner was in formation, eyes forward as commanded, she heard the same voice from behind uttering a specific threat. The same guy from the store. She won't say specifically what he said. The workouts dehydrated her. The lunchtime beefaroni nauseated her. By day's end, she was in the infirmary. There, she heard a nurse say she was faking it. Shannon Faulkner lost 14 pounds in 4 days, briefly made it out of the infirmary before she called her parents to come and get her. I did the best I could at the time, Faulkner said in a recent interview. The rain hid my tears. Her grandmother, who Faulkner said was always her champion, had another view. The city wept. On campus, cadets celebrated, whooping and hollering in a rain-slickened quad. But one person who didn't see the celebration was citing abiding memory as a ranking staff officer saying, "This is not who we are." Every couple of weeks, 200 letters would arrive every day to her. Most wouldn't even fit in the mailbox. Writers offered support. Shannon spent close to a year with her boyfriend in Norfolk, Virginia, stationed. He was in the Navy. She enrolled at Furman University, then Anderson University, majoring in education. Shannon Faulkner's worked in Greenville County schools since graduating. Shannon's taught English in a high school, then middle school, and is now a Title I planner, working more with families than children from low-income families to make sure they have what they need.
I don't care.
Anyway, well, sorry.
I think she
was an idiot.
She was doing it for the publicity.
Well, she was if she were really seriously going to do this, she would have showed up looking like an Olympic champion.
Yeah. She's a
and
crybaby.
she was fat and out of shape, and obviously couldn't handle it mentally. I mean, it's ridiculous.
She wanted to cause trouble, and she
ridiculous.
got trouble in response, and she shouldn't have, but she did.
This is the
what
kind
did she expect?
Yeah, this is the kind of thing should have happened in the 70s to make a point, rather than 1995 or something.
Oh, since they're let women in now, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so now it's no big deal, and it's not a thing. But again,
well, she's not a trailblazer because she showed up for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and didn't, and it lasted like 8 days.
Well, the beefaroni's making me sick.
Yeah, I know. It's 5:39. By the way, speaking of wokeism and stuff, a Native American group of American Indians called the Native American Guardian Association has now gathered 80,000 signatures on a petition calling on the Commanders to rename their team the Washington Redskins.
Ain't gonna happen.
We invite all Americans to stand up for the dignity of every American under assault in today's increasingly nonsensical culture wars. This line in the sand reinforces undeniable history of the Native American assisting the founding of America with Native American principles used by the founding fathers in the U.S. Constitution and every American's right to the First and 14th Amendment and not be targets of cancel culture or ESG. This is not a simple left or right issue for Americans. It reaches across the political spectrum dating back to our founding fathers. You can't simply erase history and target the Native American community by eradicating the name Redskins while being an organization that fosters other constitutional rights, including players who don't honor the American flag and kneel during the national anthem. Well, I'm not sure that point is going to go over well with the people of what. But again,
they're never going to. Magic Johnson will never let that happen.
I don't like the name Commander.
Who was he part of the? Who bought them? Was it Johnson? Or
no?
What famous person is part of the?
Oh, it might have been Magic Johnson.
I think I thought it was Magic.
Yeah. Oh, I should look this
Staff?
up. I remember.
Anybody out there?
Anyway.
And it's I'm sorry, the name's racist. Redskin is a racist name.
Of course it is.
There's no other group that could be called Blackskins or Brownskins or Yellowskins or anything.
No way.
It's no. Sorry.
Yeah, no question about it. It's 5:41. How about a Flounders Funny? Can we do a Flounders Funny? And do we have a Pete's Tweets coming up?
We can if we.
Well, we don't worry about it. Let's do a Flounders Funny. Then
I've always got it right here ready for you.
Standing by. First, Flounders Funny, ladies and gentlemen. We got
one of my next door neighbors is a 90-year-old man suffering from Alzheimer's. And every single morning at 9 a.m., he knocks on my door and he asks me if I have seen his wife, which means that every single morning at 9 a.m., I have to explain to a 90-year-old man suffering from Alzheimer's that his wife has been dead for quite some time. Now, I have thought about moving. I have thought about just not answering my door in the morning. But to be honest, it's worth it just to see the smile on his face.
That's our old buddy.
Anthony Jeselnik.
Jeselnik, I think is how I pronounce it, but you're right. Jeselnik is how it's spelled. And every single one of his jokes is that. It's just the most off-color or cringeworthy and funny punchlines. He's a very clever fellow. Anthony Jeselnik. Also, speaking of comedy of another side. Well, they're at it again. Doonesbury, Gary Trudeau, is now making fun of PTSD for veterans who served the country in wartime and came back a little messed up over it. He's got them sitting around a table and one guy's stuttering and nothing, I don't know, how am I doing? I don't know, like that. And they're talking about him. And the guy says, oh, you ought to get yourself some help. And he says, oh, no, I really don't think I'll. And they go, blam, blam, blam. And he says, oh, no. And he's afraid. And it's just unbelievable. It's just almost every weekend in the paper, every couple of days, there's another bashing American tradition of decency and honor and military service. It's unbelievable.
They hate us. They hate, and these are the people, and they showed it during COVID. Will lock us in camps, and kill us if they can get away with it.
Yeah.
If they can get away with it, if they can come up with an excuse, then you want in World War II, how could they lock up a whole group of people? Well, you saw it during COVID. They're ready to do it.
Yeah. By the way, a couple of things in the news might be bizarre. Speaking, we did a Skynet thing. Did you hear about what happened in the county school buses in Kentucky? First day of classes, they hired a Massachusetts company, a consulting company that uses computer algorithms to map out courses and stops for bus systems so they can have a smoothly transitioning school bus system or kids going back to school. It was a logistical nightmare. On the first day of classes, students are going to have to stay home for several days the rest of the week while they figure it out. Parents complained there was 96,000 students. A lot of them never even got picked up. The parents say they had all summer to figure this out, all summer, and they couldn't get it done. One of the young daughters was covered in urine because she finally got home at 9:15 at night.
Wow.
Little kids.
Why aren't the parents looking for them? How could that happen?
They were on bus. They were being driven. I mean, it's unbelievable.
At some point, I've got somebody by the neck.
Yeah.
Where's my kid?
And their parents, I mean, they're just outraged.
Where's this?
God, in Kentucky. In, let's see, well, I don't have my glasses on, but it's in someplace in Kentucky.
Well, if only you had your glasses within, like, reaching
I got
you
it
there.
right here. I guess I could probably find it. Bus along algorithm bus. First day of classes, day of parents and parents, students, 9,000 students. It doesn't. Oh, here we go. My God, they never even say the town. Kentucky's largest district. Well, where? Oh, my God. I'll read. Let's see.
That's journalism for you.
Oh, Louisville. Louisville's largest district. Okay, it's in there somewhere. Oh, my God. Right. Also, if you take Ozempic, Ozempic, you've heard the commercial for Ozempic?
Oh, the nuts in Hollywood are taking it.
But again, it's not supposed to be for weight loss, but that's what it does, and that's what people are using it. Well, here's a problem. If you've been taking Ozempic, and for some reason you have to take a surgery where you have to fast and no eating or drinking, like a colonoscopy and stuff, the problem is that anesthesiologists are finding that patients who take Ozempic are inhaling food and liquid into their lungs while they're sedated because the drugs slow digestion so much it puts the patients at increased risk. They have to follow instructions, stop eating for 6 to 8 hours. That's not good enough, because it slows down your digestion, which is why you lose weight, but it also makes sure you might die when they put you under.
Sounds like a them problem.
Yeah, that's right, baby. Anyway, 5:45 already. Holy smokes, it's 5:46 already. Holy cow. Hold on. We got more. Biden Democrat people, so they put those charges back on again. One. Secondly, they, for some reason, allowed him bail to go stay at his parents' millionaire place or something. Of course they did. And this idiot has now done something so stupid where he violated the terms of his probation, and now they put him back in jail. Here's a guy, oh my God, how dumb do you have to be charged with billions of dollars of fraud that could leave you in jail for the rest of your life? And instead of just sitting on your couch and saying, okay, just bring me pizza and movies to watch, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize not going to prison. And they put him back in prison because he still acted so stupid about trying to influence people or something. How dumb can you be?
It's not dumb. He's entitled. The rules don't apply to him.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
And he's gotten away with it so far.
Yeah, it's just astounding. Incidentally, Flounder saw the story earlier. I saw this I guess it was last night or something. A woman in Florida, Nicole Max, she's 35 years old. She has been accused of murdering a 79-year-old guy that she lived with, or she was his tenant or something. Apparently, police were called to the place because there was a fire in the house, and they got there and they didn't find much of it. They put out the fire, and then, there's a dead guy there, and he's got blunt force trauma. He's been beat up. He has stab wounds all over the place, and he's bloody everywhere, and he's dead. 2 hours later, police spot a barefoot woman, this woman, with blood on her leg and ripped shirt outside a Crystal restaurant nearby. This was in Daytona area, Florida. And when the police went up to talk to her, she dropped a knife and a hammer at their feet. They said, where you been? She says, I live in that area over there. And then she changed her tune. They showed her a picture of the dead guy. I've never seen him before. Then, I knew him. I had something or other. Well, anyway, the police eventually... They went into the place with her, and the woman started getting agitated, wanted a lawyer, so the police came back with a warrant to test her bloody body for DNA evidence. The woman asked the police for a can of Diet Mountain Dew. They gave her a can of Diet Mountain Dew. She started walking around with it, and they tried to pull the can away from her, and she wouldn't have any of it. And then she started resisting arrest and poured the can of Mountain Dew all over her body and hair, trying to interfere with the police officers where she was trying to erase possible bloody evidence from her body using the poured can of Mountain Dew.
Do the Dew.
Do the Dew. She was kicking and screaming and pulling, and trying to drag her into the cruiser. She was trying to wipe off the evidence with a can of Diet Mountain Dew. Oh, my God. Here's a funnier story involving a true Kimmer babe.
I hope.
Indiana. The other night, Salem, Indiana, Michael Chastain, 45-year-old man, drove into the front yard of a couple's home, grabbed the husband of the home, the homeowner, the male of the homeowner, after he got out of his car, forced the homeowner to the ground, held a gun to his head. The homeowner's wife saw the whole thing, went to get her own handgun, and shot and killed the guy. The guy, Chastain is his name. He previously used to date the couple's daughter, but she doesn't even live there. Why he came and targeted the father, we don't know. And again, this said this woman had to be in her 70s. Her daughter was, the guy was 45 years old or something. And the elderly woman, a wife, grabbed her own gun and killed the bastard. As you should do it. By the way, speaking of crime, we've been watching. Have you seen the video of those gangbangers who walked into the store, like 30 of them, all dressed in black, and stole everything, including trying to walk out with the racks of clothes, with the actual dragging the rack behind
dragged
him?
the rack all the way to the front of the store.
Steel rack with clay.
He's got to go down the sidewalk with it.
He can't get out the door with the damn thing.
Stupid.
But remember, AOC said they were stealing to feed themselves.
Yeah, it was like
Gucci bags.
It was reparations. Yeah, they needed the money. Yeah, you get a lot of money.
Every one of them had a brand new baseball cap, a hoodie, a nice T-shirt, nice running shoes, nice jeans.
These are
None of them are starving.
They're gangs. It's gangs. It's not individuals, who say, hey, let's go do this. It's gangs.
It looked to be like members of the community, Kimmer.
Well, that's true, too. The downtrodden, the less fortunate.
What do they call it? The less fortunate. No, the underserved.
Yeah.
They look like they were overserved.
And again, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stand there and do nothing. And I thought, and I mentioned this. Why isn't it possible that the owner or the manager or whatever would have some kind of a locking system so that they can't get out?
You know why? Because then they're locked in there with them.
Well, the problem
is
they're scared of them. If they're locked in with them and they're armed, then you might have a shootout.
Well, they had bear spray.
Yeah,
that's a weapon.
That's the other thing. And by the way, that is a weapon. That is an assault with a weapon that could be could be a deadly weapon.
Person with asthma could kill him.
Or weak heart, or elderly, or a pacemaker. I mean, all kinds of things. Bear spray.
Do you see how crazy they were acting when they had a way out?
Yeah.
Like rats off a ship?
Yeah.
And you try and lock them in? What would happen?
Well, I think the best thing to do would be to have all the employees, as soon as this starts happening, say all the employees get out, and then lock the door and set it on fire. I think that would probably
release the gas.
Yeah, release the gas. Yeah.
Release the
knockout gas or something.
Knockout gas. Knock them out, and then have the cops come.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be something. You can't just not do anything.
Well, it's California, and that's what the Republicans need to take, because that's L.A. That's Nordstrom's in L.A.
That's right.
Take that and use that as a loop. That with the taking a crap on the sidewalk and the sidewalk cafes, basically, they have their own little towns they've set up, the homeless, and just show that on a loop. This is coming to a town, not a city, a town near you, if you elect this idiot Newsom as your president.
And they're letting him get away.
What balls does he have to think he should be president? He can't even run his state.
He had him arrest a guy paddleboarding in the ocean during the COVID fire. They went to get him in the ocean.
Coast Guard,
because he wasn't wearing a mask.
He poured sand on skate parks.
Yeah, they filled up skate parks.
Yeah, so you could not get out to. Actually, they tore down basketball nets so you couldn't play basketball outside.
These people were one step away from putting you on cattle cars and sending you out to the desert in Modesto or something, in Bakersfield, and putting you in a camp like Australia did.
Yeah, and once again, they're going to come out. They may indict Donald Trump tomorrow. They released the so-called possible charges against him, including felonies like racketeering RICO charges, for crying out. They just want to get his airplane. They want to take away his airplane and make it as a new modem for the Democrat Party or something. So that's we may hear more about that tomorrow. That may not have been a true document that was released and then taken offline. Also, President Pence on fire. If you didn't hear it, when they asked him if he had what do you think about all those poor people in Hawaii dying and the death tolls going up and up, and what do you think, Mr. President? He said no comment, turned his back, smiled, and walked away to Rehoboth Beach.
He always does.
Go back to the beach. No comment, smiles, and walks away.
That's his official portrait of him with his back turned, walking away.
Right. Walking away from the media. It's just unconscionable.
This isn't the country we grew up in.
The whole family's a bunch of white trash scumbags.
Yes.
God, we out of time. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. Flounder, thank you, my friend, and Pete Day and the whole crew, and go Braves. And tomorrow we do it all over again, I say. Bet you probably. And I'll try not to have a story about weeping. Hoorah, I gotta go. You're killing me. And herp and herp.